All right, so let's start with our topic. Now, for that topic, let's go for this one. What we have done so far, right? So we are done with the virtual machine part, compute part, we are done with the identity part, we are done with the governance. Now let's go with one by one slide and let's check whether we have done it or not. Okay, so let's talk about the how to administer Azure resources. This part is remaining, right? So let's talk about that part now. Now whenever we are saying that Azure administer means, see, whatever we have, we can create resources from the portal itself. It is easy to go, right? So if I want to create a virtual machine, I can directly go for create it and I can start creating it. Simple thing for me, right? Because this is what we can say user interface, UI based. So this is easy to go, but if you need to create one virtual machine, then it is easy for you. But what if you need to create 10 virtual machines? What if you need to create 50 virtual machines or you need to create 100 virtual machines? Then what you will do? So that is a hectic job, right? Because sometimes what happen, it will take time. That is the first one, right? Again, after that, you need to click on each and every part over here. You need to click on the virtual machine every time. You need to go for the create. You need to add the resource group name, this and that, everything. It might happen the requirement is there where you need to select the same virtual network every time for all the virtual machines. It might happen that in some of the parts you forget to add that networking or the public IP address, that parts, right? So manually, whenever we are performing, it might happen there are mistakes, right? If there is a mistake regarding with the virtual networks and all, you need to delete that virtual machine and then recreate it. So it is a hectic job for us. But instead of that, that's why we have scripting languages. So we have scripting languages. Now, scripting will be complicated in a nature at the first start, right? It will be complicated in nature because you need to write each and everything. If you want virtual machine, what is the name of it, location, and each and everything, you need to select the what is the network side IP address, static or dynamic. You need to select the NSG part. You need to write a codes for NSG and everything. So it is kind of a hectic job. But once you write it, once you write it, you can create multiple times. You can run that script multiple times, right? And it will give you the same output. Whenever you are running that script, it will give you the same output. You can also create a loop for it. Okay, I wanted to create 100 virtual machines, so I can add that 100 number over there, right? And then I can create a multiple. So I just need to run that script and just relax. So like that. So that's why we have the scripting languages. Now, in the scripting languages, we have Azure CLI and PowerShell. We have Azure CLI and Azure PowerShell. Now, why I'm saying that Azure PowerShell, Windows also have PowerShell, right? Windows also have command interface, right? But Azure CLI and Azure PowerShell will support Azure commands. Now there are two things. If you are good in PowerShell, you can go for PowerShell. If you are good at CLI, you can go for CLI. That is not like that this is best, this is not best like that. For as per my experience, I at the first start, I started with the PowerShell and it was easy for me to work with the PowerShell. But after that, I started working with the CLI for some of the requirement and it is really very easy. Though PowerShell understands CLI commands as well. If you can run CLI commands on the PowerShell window, it will recognize it. So this is an intelligent tool. But if you want to work freely with the CLI commands, then you can go for it as well. So this is as per your comfort zone, which one you want, and then you can create it. Now in that CLI, we have shortcuts. PowerShell, you need to write each and everything in the complete sentence, or I can say that spellings and each and everything you need to write it over here. But PowerShell also give you the support. Suppose I just mistake in that capital letter and small letter, it will correct it for me. But CLI will not do that. CLI will throw the error. So pros and cons are there. So whatever is comfortable for you, you can go for it. Now, for Azure CLI, if you want to start Azure CLI on your local machine, then what you need to do, you need to download Azure CLI download. See here, this is your Azure CLI, right? Now, here you can see that there is a Microsoft installer, MSI with PowerShell, zip package, whatever you want, you can choose that. So if I can go for the Microsoft installer in down, you will get that as per your configuration of your laptop or machine, you can select that and then you can run it. And to work with this, you need to open your command prompt. Okay. So this is the way how you can start with Azure CLI in your local machine. Now, what if I want to work with the PowerShell? So Windows already have PowerShell installed, right? So what you need to do to work with Azure PowerShell, you need the Azure PowerShell modules, AD modules. It is called as AD modules. So if you want to work with a local machine, then you can do. But if you want to work with the portal itself, you can directly start your Cloud Shell. See here, there is a Cloud Shell, right? So you can just start Cloud Shell. At the first start, it will ask you for create a storage account. So it will by default create a storage account. Why it will create a storage account? Because if you want to store the log files, so storage account will give you the log files. It will store all the logs because here we are working with the scriptings, so it will create a logs in the backend, right? To store that logs, we are using the storage account. Another thing, to store our files and everything, files folder for the future use, you can use that storage account in the backend to store it. Now, how to use that? So let's see, this is the classic version. This is a new version where you can easily work with that, but this is my classic version. So I can go for the classic version as well. And you can see that there is one option which is called as an editor, open editor. Another thing we have is you can create the folder or you can open the new session. And here we have the download or upload files, right? Now I will increase this, right? And here there is a folder. So this is present in my storage account. So you can see here we have the cloud console, here we have the Microsoft, Windows, PowerShell and all these things. If I want to create anything or if I wanted to keep even PowerShell or this window, editor window supports .NET applications. So if you want to run your .NET applications and all, or you want to build .NET applications and then you want to push it into your web applications, then you can use these things. From here, you don't need to install .NET versions. You can only write your code, copy paste your code here. You can add the packages and then you can run it or publish it onto your account or on your services. Simple, right? So this is easy to use. If you want to write anything, you can write it directly. To save, Control S, and to quit, Control Q, right? So hold Q. Okay. No, cancel. Okay, here I guess here some commands are different. Okay, let it be. So what I can do for MacBook, the commands are different. But in a Windows, you can just simple use Control C and Control Q. Okay. Now, what is next? So this is my PowerShell window. If you want to go for the bash, which is Azure CLI, you can go from here, right? So I will go for this, and this is my Cloud Shell window. Now we need to understand what is the format of Cloud Shell and what is the format of PowerShell. So Cloud Shell always start with AZ command. Remember that Cloud Shell or CLI command line interface always start with small AZ command. First of all, you need to write AZ. After that, what you want? Do you want to work with the groups? Do you want to work with virtual machine? Do you want to work with anything else? You can just write it. So here you don't need to write complete word resource group. You can simply say that group. That's it. AZ group. After that, what you need to do? You need to write what do you want. Do you want to list out? Do you want to create? Do you want to delete? Do you want to do you want to show? Whatever. Suppose now the best part of the Cloud Shell is at any point of time you can take help. Either you can write hyphen help, okay, complete, or else you can use shortcut which is -h. Anytime you can take help. Now, AZ group means what? Manage resource group and template deployment. So with that, I can do one thing. I can log that resource group. I can create, delete. I can check if resource group is exist. Export. I can capture a resource group as a template. List out, list the resource group. Show, update and wait. Right? So these are the commands which I can append after AZ group. Now let's say I will put that AZ, and if you want the first command, you can use upper and lower keys. Okay. So instead of group, what I need to do, let's say I wanted to create, right? I wanted to create and then space. Now I can understand that, okay, I can add create, but what is after that? I don't know. So I can take help from here. So see here, you can do one thing. You can use location -l. Either you can write hyphen location or you can use -l. So that is simple for me, right? Name, again the same thing. For name, you can use hyphen name, or for the resource group, you can write it like this, or for the resource group, you can use -g. -g is simple for me. And -n, instead of name, you can do -n. Managed by, if you want to check that. After that, the tags, if you want to do the space separated tags, if you want to attach that tags, you can go for it. Debug, help, only show errors. See here, the output is allowed in JSON, table format, TSV, YAML, or something like that. So what I need to do, I want to create my resource group. So what I can do, instead of h, I will say that -n. And here you can see that the example. So you can use that example as well. So suppose, for example, I wanted to use RG CLI, right? This is the name of my resource group. And after that, -l for the location, and the location is East US location. And then hit on enter. So this will create a resource group for me. See here, it has created resource group for me. So whatever is there on your portal, you can easily do it from the scripting languages. Okay. But you can create multiple things. The advantage of the scripting languages, if you wanted to create in a bulk, more resources or anything, then you can always go for this scripting language. Even if there are so many things included in your resources and all, you can just create it first. Okay. Create your complete script, and then whatever is there, you can just make the changes onto that script and then run it. So this is the simple one, right? So this is how we are working with the Azure CLI. Now let's say if I wanted to open that Azure CLI, let me just check. They have created it, but I need to check whether it is there or not. So what I can do, I can go for the resource groups and see, you can see here RGCLI, and this is in the East US region, right? If there is any kind of issue with your command, it will throw you the error. But Azure CLI will also give you the suggestion or the solutions as well, that you need to run this first, or you need to make the changes on this first, and then you can run. So this is the best part of the Azure CLI, to work with Azure CLI. Same thing for if you want to work with the web applications or the virtual machine, then what are the things that you need to do? I can say that AZ VM create. I don't know what is next. Then I can go for the -H. So see here, there are multiple options we have. See this? There are multiple options, examples. See here? In this example, 3 VMs are created. They are VM0, my VM0, my VM1, my VM2. See here, count 3 with the sent OS. So you can change the image. See here, this is my resource group. This is my VM. So if you want to create a simple configuration, you don't want to think about the virtual networkings and all, you can go for this, right? If you want to add the Debian, or these are the multiple things, multiple options we have. So whatever you want, you can choose that. See here, IP address, how to add the public IP address and all, right? So this is the best option to start with Azure CLIs. Okay. So this is Azure CLI. Now let's go for the Azure PowerShell. Just a minute. Give me 2 minutes. Okay. Now this is the PowerShell window. Okay. So same thing. Now, first thing, let me just add it over here. Here, the format is AZ. Then whatever the resource you want, if you want to create a resource group, then you need to write group. I can say that service. And then what you need to do, you need to write create. So this is what you want. So this is the format. And then after that, you can just add other factors, right? Now, PowerShell command is a simple one. We have 4 to 5 commands only. If you want to create something new, you need to start with new. If you want to remove something or delete something, then there is the command which is remove command, right? Remove command. If you want to add something or append something, there is a add command. If you want to, what I can say, so we have add, new, and this one, join or anything. So there are 2, 3 commands more. Okay. That many commands only you need to remember. Now, if I want to create anything, then I need to start with new. See here, here we are starting with AZ. Here we are starting with what you want. So this is what you want, right? First of all, you need to start with what you want. Then without a space, you need to specify which AZ. And here AZ is capital A and small z, right? Here AZ is capital A and small z. And after that, you need to tell which service. So suppose I am working with virtual machine, then I need to specify VM, right? If you are working with resource group, then you need to type complete resource group. So like that. So this is your AZ and this is your service. And after that, if you want to add the name, then you need to type it like this, name. and then whatever the name is there. So here there is no option to write only -n. So this is what the PowerShell window, but it will create a ghost commands for you if you want to try to create anything. So suppose for example, if I wanted to write new, right? So see here, this is a ghost commands. So it will suggest what do you want. So suppose I wanted to create a Z resource group, right? See here, once I tab it, it will give me the corrections. Okay. After that, what I need to do? I need to add name. And what will be the name? RG hyphen PowerShell, right? Like this. And then after that, I need to add location. And the location is West US, like that. So once I done, I can just hit on create. Now here you are thinking that this is something what we can say difficult for us because we need to write each and everything here. But the best part is, or the suggestion is, if you are working with the PowerShell, if you want to work with the PowerShell, always use your local machine's PowerShell. Now why? So this is my Mac OS, so I don't have the PowerShell. But if you are working with the Windows operating system, there is a PowerShell, right? You need to install Azure AD PowerShell modules first. Once you install it, it will give you complete things. So whatever, so suppose for example, I'm just writing it over here, new hyphen AZ resource. If I'm writing 3 letters only, it will correct me for the second parts, right? Means it will complete the sentence for me or it will complete the command for me. After that, once you add that hyphen, it will give you the list. Okay, what do you want? Name, location, and whatever you want, you can just select that. So you don't need to remember these commands over there. So you can just add the resource group. After that, space hyphen. Once you put that hyphen, it will give you the list. Okay, what is the remaining location tags and this and that? You need to select that and then you can just write. So this is the one. So if you want to freely work with your PowerShell commands, always go from your local machine PowerShell, which is the best option where you can just work freely, you can store it, you can save that scripts, and then you can run it multiple times, right? So this is the one which is a PowerShell. Now why we are using that scripting languages? Because of the I can say that automation kind of things, but there is no automation, this is a manual thing, but I can create multiple resources in a one go itself. That is the best part of the scripting languages. But let's say I wanted to create, I have the virtual machine script, right? Complete script. Now I wanted to make the changes in the virtual machine. Let's say I wanted to make the changes in a virtual machine name. I wanted to change virtual network change. I wanted to create a public IP address as well, right? So these are the things that I wanted to make the changes. Always, whenever I'm running that VM script, I wanted to change these things, right? So if you want to do these things, that is a hectic part in the scripting because you need to search for where is that virtual machine name, you need to search for where is that virtual network name, you need to search for PIP. If you want to change so many things, then you need to search for that in your script and then you need to make the changes. Now, while doing the changes, if you have done any kind of a small mistake, if you deleted or if you put any kind of a extra space or you by mistaken you have just enter it, right? So whatever you have done the mistake, your script will fail at that time, right? So this is a hectic part if I want to make the changes on it. So what if I will write a script and In the outside window, I can create virtual machine name, VNet and PIP, whatever is there. So what if I can manage these things? So I can say that these are the parameters. So these are the parameters for me. So if I have a parameter file separate where I can define my VM name, virtual network name, PIP name, whatever I want, and then run that script. So that will be easy for me, right? So for that purpose, we have ARM, Azure Resource Manager template. Now ARM is the infrastructure as a code. Why it is saying that infrastructure as a code? Because here you can create your complete infrastructure. Here you can create your complete infrastructure. You have your complete architecture. Then you can just write your code, each and everything. Suppose there is a requirement of virtual machine, right? Two virtual machines we have. One is the Windows operating system, one is Linux operating system. You wanted to create a web server for it. This is my IIS, this is my Apache, right? After that, here I wanted to put the IP address as 10.0.0.5. This will be 10.0.0.10, like that, right? These things I need to put it in my availability set. Again, these things are present in my same subnet and VNet, right? Like that. I wanted to keep load balancer in front of them. So like that. So this is my scenario. To write this scenario, you can directly use the infrastructure as a code to create complete structure. You can do it by using the scripting languages as well. That is possible. But if you want to store it in your Azure portal itself, you wanted to just call it out, and whenever you are calling it, then you wanted to make the changes on the parameters. What is the Windows operating system, or what is my Windows name? What is the static IP address, and this and that? If you want to make the changes on this, then you can go for ARM template. So ARM template is written in JSON file, JavaScript object notation. So you can say that, okay, I don't know about JSON file and all. So how I can do that? You don't need to write anything. At the first start, you don't need to write anything because Microsoft has created so many things for you. So here, if I can search for deploy a custom template. See here, there is a deployment scripts are there. We also have a deploy a custom template. If I can go for the deploy a custom template, see here, you can start or you can write your own template from the scratch. That is possible for you. Either you can directly go for the common template. So this is my virtual machine, Linux, web application, SQL database, landing zone as well. So you can create your complete architect from the landing zone. Or else you can go for the quick start template. So here multiple quick start templates are there. You can see that. See, just think about it and you will get all the templates here. See? So those are the templates starting from your virtual machine to SAP HANA workloads, whatever you want, 3 virtual machine, 5 virtual machine, whatever is there, you can create that. See here, NIC card, load balancers. See here, load balancers are there, front doors are there. Then we also have the application gateway web apps. So just think about it and then you will get here all the templates. Now, first of all, we need to understand the template, though it is there, though we have all the templates. So if I can say that in that quick start template, we have the template for Windows IIS. We have a template for Linux Apache. We have a template for load balancer with 2 virtual machines in the backend. We have the template for load balancer with availability set. So we have a separate template. But why we need to understand the ARM template? Because as per our requirement, we need to configure these things, right? We need to create all these things, right? As per our requirement. So for example, we have a template for Windows IIS. So I need to copy that Windows IIS template, or I need to call out that window IIS template, ARM template in my main template. I need to call out Linux Apache template in my current template. I need to call out that load balancer. I need to create a load balancer with two virtual machine. If required, I need to take a help from availability set with load balancer template. So once you understand the flow of ARM template, then you can customize it. We have a multiple template, but customization is your part as per your requirement. So in ARM template, first of all, we are starting with schema. We are starting with schema. Schema is nothing. You don't need to add that things as well. It is already there by default. Schema is having the URL. So URL is what? It is kind of all templates, whatever you want. Suppose I wanted to create a resource, virtual machine or anything. So what are the things that I need to remember? Everything. It is kind of a library, right? So you need to add that library URL here. You don't need to add that. It is already there whenever you are starting with ARM template. This will be coming by default. After that, you need to add the version, right? You need to add version. Now I can also say that this is the API version, right? So version means what? Microsoft is so this is first version is your content version. So you can just put that 1.0.0, something like that. If you are creating any updates or anything on that, then you can just make it as a version number 1.0.1, something like that, right? After that, you also need to provide API version. Now, API version means what? Your resource version. Resource version means what? Whenever we are creating the resource from the portal, there is a number. Whenever there is a deployment is going on, there is a number on it, right? So that number we need it over here. Now you can think about that, okay, how I can get that numbers, and for that I need to create each and everything, every resource in the portal, and then I will get that. No, not required. Everything is already there in the template. So you can use that version. Now version means what? Updates. Microsoft has made multiple updates on the resources. Every time it will do that, right? So whatever the latest version is there, it is by default updated in your template. So you don't need to worry about that, but you need to add that API version or the resource version. Okay. After that, you need to add the parameters. As I said, whatever things you need to call out from the outside. You don't want to disturb your code once you write it. You just need to call out that parameter, and whenever I wanted to run this script, I will only change it in this parameter files. So you can add the parameter file. If you want to add the variables, if you want to add the variables, you can add that variables. Variables in the sense, if you want to use that, call out it multiple times within the script, you can use that variables. You can also create a functions. If you want to call out any functions, minimum, maximum value, whatever you want, you can just set up that. You can do that. And then the major part is resource. So here, the thing is, whenever we are creating the resources, you need to make sure about that you are writing it in the proper manner and orchestrated manner. Now, what is mean by that? Suppose this is my virtual machine. I wanted to create a virtual machine. Then you need to first of all create the resources. So see here, for the virtual machine is not only one resource, right? In the backend, it will create a virtual network, NSG, NIC card, public IP address, storage account, and all, right? So first of all, you need to figure out what is your flow. So you need to call out, or you need to create a resources in the template which are independent in a nature. So for example, storage account. Storage account is independent resource, right? After that, public IP address. Public IP address, again a independent resource. Then we have a NSG. NSG is also independent resource. Then you can create virtual network. That virtual network is connected to the NSG. Then you can create NIC card. That NIC card is connected to public IP address and virtual network, right? And then you can create virtual machine. That virtual machine is connected to public IP address and NIC card, right? Sorry, not public IP address. That virtual machine is connected to storage account and NIC card, like this. Okay. So like that, this is the scenario. So virtual machine is dependent on each and every resources indirectly. So you need to write it in the proper flow only. You can, if you are thinking that, okay, I will create NSG after virtual network NIC card before public IP address and all, you can write it. Writing is okay. But whenever you are running that script, it will not create anything, because it will search for the dependent resources first, right? So that's why these things you need to take care while you are doing the customization. But everything is already there. For example, if I can go for this and I wanted to go for the virtual machine, so these are my parameters. I can select my resource group, in which resource group I wanted to create the ARM template, in which region I wanted to create a ARM template, in what is my username and the password. So if you want to set that username and password, you can do that, right? So see here, there are two options. One is a template, one is a parameter file. So if I can go for the edit template, so see here, this is the schema. After that, this is a content version 1.0.0.0. Metadata, if you want to add anything, you can just add that, and then it will start with the parameter. So in the parameter, first part is there, admin user. If you want to fix your admin user, you can do that. If you want to fix your password, you can do that. So see here, minimum length is 12. So you can fix that. See here, DNS label, public IP name, OS version, which OS versions are allowed. You can specify that as well. After that, VM size, if you want to fix D2S V5 only, then you can put, or otherwise like images, you can add multiple sizes as well. So we can select that. Location, you can select, you can add the VM name, security type, and then variable. So see here till this, there is a parameter file. After that, here variables. So those are my variables. So multiple times I will call out my VM NIC, that address prefix, and all these things are variables. And from here onwards, they are starting with the resources. The first resource is this. See here, storage account. And what is the API version for this? This is the API version. The latest update happened on 2022. Okay. After that, what is the SKU, standard, LRS, and all these things are written. After that, public IP address, you can just write a code for public IP address. Network security group with NSG rules, right? After that, here we have the virtual network, and you can see that at the end of virtual network, it is calling out NSG group, right? Because it is depends on NSG. After that, here we have the NIC card. That NIC card is connected to, depends on public IP address and the virtual network, right? And at the end, we are going to create a virtual machine, which is depends on NIC card and the storage account. So like that, you need to write each and everything. And if you can see that, to write single virtual machine code, we are taking 331 lines. And there are so many curly brackets, square brackets, comma, and each and everything, indentations, and all these things are there. So it is near about complicated in nature, right? I can say that for the developers, This is something complicated in nature. We need to spend too much time on that, though Microsoft has created so many templates for it. We can just customize it. We can just call it out here and there, and then we can use it. That is okay. But still, it is too much lengthy, right? And here you can see that parameter files. If your code is correct by using the indentations, curly brackets, and all these things, JSON file is correct, then and then only it will show you how many how many resources you are going to create, right? So like this, it will create it. Now, after that, here we have the parameter file. So from here also you can make the changes, or else, sorry, where is that? Yes. Or else you can make the changes from here. So this is your parameter file, right? Now, if you want to visualize what is inside that and how it has created the resources, so you can visualize that as well. So that is the best part. So you can do the visualization. So see here, virtual machine is dependent on the NIC card, and this one NIC card is dependent on the public IP address and virtual network, and then that virtual network is connected to the NSG. So like that, right? So now the next part is, if the developers are thinking that this is kind of difficult for us, then what? But earlier, before 2-3 years back, we are using ARM templates only to create complete infrastructure, right? But now Microsoft has introduced Bicep template. Bicep templates, if I can search from here, Azure Bicep template for virtual machine. So if I want to create a virtual machine in Windows operating system, then see here. This is looking like this. See, multiple things are there. Still, multiple things are there, but it is simpler than at least that ARM template, right? Here also we have so many things, but to help us, so that Bicep template is simple to understand, where ARM template takes 331 lines of code. Here it will take 150 or something like that lines of codes, right? But it is easy to understand, easy to write, and then it will also have other features. Now, what are the features we have for the Bicep template? So ARM template, whenever, suppose there is a resource group, whenever there is a resource group, suppose that resource group is already having some resources like virtual machine as a virtual machine 1. Let's say storage account as a storage account 1, like S1, right? And by using a template, by using a template within the same resource group, you are creating VM1, right? The virtual machine name is again VM1. So what is the issue with ARM template is, whenever you are running the template, it will check whether that virtual machine is there. If it is there, it will replace with the new one. It will replace with the new one. It means we don't have a visibility, or we need to make sure about that there is no same naming conventions, right? So this is what the issue, but Bicep will give you the solution on that. Bicep will first of all check whether the virtual machine 1 is there. If it is there, then it will throw you the error. Another thing with the ARM template, you can't take the resources which are existing in a nature. So if I want to create a virtual machine, or if I want to create 20 virtual machine in the same virtual network, then I need to write each and everything from scratch. But what if there is a virtual network already present and I wanted to create a new virtual machine with the same virtual network, existing virtual network? That was not possible. But because of the Bicep template, you can also take existing template as well, or existing resources as well. So if there is a virtual network, from the Bicep template, you can write your code and take the reference of your existing virtual network. So like that. Looping. Looping, same. Looping is not there in the ARM template, but in Bicep it is there. So there are multiple what we can say flexibilities, and developer best they have created the Bicep template to work with that IAC, infrastructure as a codes. So now we are using the Bicep templates instead of the ARM template. Then why we need to understand ARM template? Because in the backend, if you can see in the backend, everything is written in JSON file. If you can go for the RBAC roles, or if you can go for any things, then we have the JSON files only, right? So that's why at least you need to understand what is mean by ARM template, what is the JSON file, if you want how to create that JSON file. But you can also go for the biceps, right? Now, if you are new to this, how to create that? So for the developers, Visual Studio Code give you the best option or the flexibility. So there is a Bicep extension. Those who are from the development background, so this is for you. Open your Visual Studio Code, go for the extension, install your extension for ARM template, install your extension for Bicep template. If you want to work with the Terraform, install your extension for Terraform as well, right? And then you can start writing your code. Once you start writing your code, it will give you the suggestion, it will give you the uh, mm, what we can say option to select your template. So suppose I wanted to create a storage account, then it will give me that storage account template completely. So you don't need to write each and any everything from scratch. You just start, take a help of templates which are already there, and then write it. Okay. Another thing which is best for the developers. So if you want to work with, if you are working with Visual Studio Code closely, go for GitHub Copilot. So it's a best one, or I can say that GitHub Copilot is the helping hand for the developers. So it is not like that we don't need developers. We need developer to make sure about that all things are correct and up to date as per our requirement. But GitHub Copilot is the tool which is provided by GitHub only. So for that you need the GitHub account, you need to enable that GitHub Copilot, and you need to attach it to your Visual Studio Code, and it will create your life easy. You don't need to write anything from scratch. Whatever you want, just add the prompts and it will create each and everything for you. Okay. So this is for the developers only. Okay. And other team members, you can use the GitHub, you can use ChatGPT or you can use Gemini. So those are the things also you can use. Okay. So this is what we have. Now this is part, we are done with the ARM template. After that Bicep template, then we are done with our scripting languages. So whatever you want, you can pick that, or else you can do it from the portal as well. So this is up to you. Okay. So this is it for this particular module. Let me just go for this part, right? So we have talked about Azure portal, we talk about PowerShell, we talk about Bash, we talk about ARM template, right? As well as we talked about Bicep template. Okay. Virtual network, we have finished. This part also we have finished. Storage part done. Relational database, data protection. Okay. Now let's go for the data protection. And then we'll go for the Azure monitoring, as well as there are some other resources that we need to complete. Okay. Now let's go for the data protection. We need to take a backup. So far so good, team? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Okay. Now let's start with data protection and BCDR. BCDR is something like business continuity and disaster recovery. Now, if I want to do that business continuity and disaster recovery, then what I need to do? Though Microsoft is taking a backup in the backend, Microsoft is taking care of my availability and all these things. Okay, these are the costlier services, but we need to choose as per our requirement. We need to choose one of that. So how you can increase your business continuity? By using that availability options. So if I'm working with the storage account, I need to choose LRS, GRS, ZRS as per my requirement. Okay. How my application is important for me, on that basis, I need to select that. Same thing for all kind of a storage parts. So this is okay. But what if you are working for the virtual machine and virtual machine got corrupted and you are not getting that virtual machine back? It might happen, right? So it might happen with your on premises as well. So your laptop. So you want to take the backup of some files and folders. Then what you will do? So Microsoft give you the solution for it, which is called backup, right? Azure backups. So on that Azure backup, you can take a backup of your virtual machine, of your on-premises files and folders. You can take a backup of your file shares, or else you can take a backup of HANA, SQL servers, SQL databases and all, right? So this is what backup. Now, whenever I'm saying that backup, taking a backup, make sure we are saying it within region. So if there is anything happened within a region, so if you lost your virtual machine, then you can create another virtual machine in a same region only. So this is backup is within a region only or region specific. Remember that. Okay. Now let's go for that and let me cancel this. Now where to store my backup? So there is a recovery service vault. So there is a recovery service vault. If you remember, there is one recovery service vault is there. That's why I was not able to delete my storage account, right? Yesterday only we have talked about it, right? So let's go for the recovery service vault. You can create one. That is okay. Simple. You can just create that. So if I want to create that, you can just simply go for the recovery service vault. You need to add the vault name. You can add the region. Redundancies, if you want to add geo redundant and all, you can just add that. Cross region restore, if you want to enable it, you can do that. Encryption, whenever there is a backup, storage, anything, Microsoft is doing the encryption and decryption, or else you can do that. Vault properties, if you want to enable the immutability. Immutability means what? If you want to stop from the deletion, you can go for the immutability. Networking, if you want to give the access only to the particular networks, you can do, and then you can go for review and create. Now, as I already have one vault, so vault is kind of a, well, it is kind of a huge amount of a storage. So you can't understand that how much storage, or you can't say that, okay, I can store 5 TB, 10 TB, 5 PIB or like that. No, unlimited. This is unlimited, huge amount. So in one single recovery service vault, you can take a backup of your complete services. All whatever you want, you can just take that. How many you want, you can take that. That is okay. Now here you can see that here we have two options. One is a backup and one is a site recovery. So for the site recovery, we will come back after a backup part. Okay. So if I wanted to take a backup, how I can take that backup? I can take a backup of my Azure Stack Hub. I can take backup of my Azure Stack HCI. I can take a backup of on-premises as well. If I wanted to take a backup of my laptop, files and folders in Azure portal, I can do that. See here. So for the on-premises, if you want to take a backup of your hypervisor virtual machine, of your VMware VM, of your Microsoft SQL Server or the SharePoint or the Microsoft Exchange or system state or bare metal recovery. So what you want, or you wanted to take the files or folder level backup, you can do that. So suppose for example, I wanted to take a file and folder level backup, then it will give me the step-by-step guide as well. So I don't need to go here and there. Just I need to click on the start preparation, and then it will give me that, say that, okay, first of all, download this agent. Once you download this agent, see here, download vault credential to register the server vault. Vault credential will be expire in 10 days, after 10 days. So once you download this latest version, then you need to click on this and then download this. This one also you need to download. This one also you need to download. Okay. After that, you need to schedule a backup or using recovery service agent. And once you do that, once you schedule it, if you want to check, you can run it at the same moment, and then you can get the information that you have taken that backup, and you can see that backup. If you want to restore that backup somewhere else, you can do that as well, right? Or else, if you want to go through complete documentation, you can go for the learn more, right? This is for on premises. Now, for the on premises, you need to do each and everything manually. So that's why it is saying that you need to download the agent, because on premises is our responsibility. But if instead of that, I'm saying that virtual machine. So let's create one virtual machine first. So let's create a simple VM. I can put it inside my RGCLI. That's fine. And VM1. Okay. East US region is fine for me. Availability zone, standard. And then I will say that Windows operating system. Okay. 2 vCPU, 8 GB RAM is okay for me. Azure user. After that, I need to add my okay. So this is my password. Other than that, I don't need anything else, right? RDP is okay for me. Networking and all these things are okay. And then just create and review and create it. So if it is an Azure resource, if you are taking the backup of your Azure resource, then you don't need to install any agent. Microsoft is doing it in the backend. Microsoft will install the agent. Microsoft will keep each and everything ready for you. Everything. Okay. So let's go for back. Let's go back to our recovery service vault. This is vault. And here we have backups. Okay. This is how it works. Now in Azure, what are the services are supported by backup? So you can take a backup of your Azure file share. You can take a backup of your SQL database in Azure VM. You can take a backup of SAP and SAP HANA workloads in Azure VM, right? So if your workloads are present in Azure, then Microsoft will take a backup of it. Now you can go for the backup item. Once you take a backup, it will go for the backup items. So see here, right now there is a Azure file shares. If you remember, there is a storage account and there is a file share. So this is my backup item count. So this is what those are having the agents. Whenever Microsoft install the agent, Microsoft add the pointer over here, and from here only you need to work on that, right? So for example, I can go for my Azure file share. So this is my drive. I stop that backup because once you stop that backup, again you need to wait for 14 days because it will go into the soft delete mode. And if it is deleted from there as well permanently, then and then only I can delete my recovery service vault, right? So this is completely secure version. Now, first of all, let me just go back. My virtual machine is ready for me. So let me do one thing before we are taking a backup. Let's go for the virtual machine. This is my VM and this is my public IP address. Okay. So let's say Windows apps, and let's add the devices, add PC, and here I will put my, let's add the credentials. Azure user and then the password. Okay, and then add it, and then I can access it. Now, why I'm doing that? Because I just wanted to show you how it will take a backup. Okay. Let's wait for a while. So here we have that server manager. So let me close this. And now what we are doing, see, we are making some changes. Okay. This is my IE enhancement. So I will click on that and I will make this off. Okay. So let me just click on OK for this. Let me cancel this one. Now, another thing what we are going to do, let's open that file explorer. Okay. So let's search for the file explorer. All right. So here we have this PC, C drive. So I can go for my C drive. And here I will create one folder. I will say that this is day 8. Okay, and enter. Now let's create one file, text document, right? So I will say that this is my file kind of, and then let's open that. And here we can just write anything, whatever you want. I'm just writing it, whatever. Okay, so this is the one. Now let me just save it. So let me save this from here. You can save it. That's it. And then cancel. Okay, so what we have done, we have created one file inside one folder. Okay, after that, let's get inside the Microsoft Edge. And what else we can do? Start without data. That is fine for me. Okay, and let's install something. I will say that Azure CLI download. Okay, so let's do this Azure CLI download. And here we have that Azure CLI. And here we can go for the Microsoft installer. and we'll go for this one, latest version. So this is a 64-bit. So I will go for it. I'm just preparing my infrastructure, okay, right now. And let's go for open file. Done. Let's start installation. So why we are doing that? If I'm showing you how to take a backup and after that I'm just creating a new virtual machine. So there we need to make sure about that it is taking each and everything, whatever is there over here. Okay. So that's why I'm performing all these things. So first of all, let's go for this copy and all these things. Let me just go back as well. Okay, let's wait for a while. Till that time, if I can go for my Azure portal. Okay, so let's go for at least first start. So let's go for the recovery service vault because we need to first of all configure our virtual machine and after that we can start the backup. Okay, so we need to trigger that backup first. So now what we can do, we can go for the backup and inside that we will go for the virtual machine. See here, now it is saying that directly configure backup. You don't need to install anything. You don't need to do anything else. Now here, what you want? Policy. Do you want to take backup only once in a day and up to 5 days operation tier retention period means whatever the backup is there. So for example, it is taking a backup today. So that backup will be available for the next 5 days. After that, tomorrow, that backup will be available for next 5 days. So like that, we will be having the standard policy or else you can go for the enhanced policy. So if there is an enhanced policy, you can take a multiple backups per day. After that, you can take a retention period of that backup for up to 30 days. Support for trusted launch virtual machines as well. So whenever we are creating the VM, there is a security concern. So if you want to create that trusted launch VMs or if you want to take a backup of your ultra disk virtual machines or the premium SSD VMs, you can use this one. Now I can go for, if I want to configure this, I can go for this policy and I can specify when you want. So if I want to schedule a backup hourly, daily, weekly, you can just add that and see here, schedule backup every 4 hours, 12 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours. So whatever you want, you can just add that. And what is your start time? So this is 8 a.m. and after every 4 hours, you need to take a backup and duration is for 12 hours, whatever is there, you can just put that 12 hours or the 4 hours, whatever you want, you can just put that things. Okay. Now, retain instance recovery snapshot for 7 days. So you can go up to 30 days, right? So here what you can see here, the value between 1 to 30. So whenever I'm taking one backup, then how you wanted to retain that backup. So for the next 7 days that will be available or for the next 30 days that will be available or I can say that for next 1 day only that will be available. So you can just you can keep your copies. Okay. After that here you want what you want retention of daily backup. You wanted to add 7 days, 30 days, whatever you want, you can just add it. So see here, there is a daily backup point as well. So no matter what, you are making that backup or taking that backup after every 4 hours. But out of that 4 hours, one copy will be retained for next 30 days, right? At least one copy of the daily backup is retaining for 30 days. So you can keep these things. So suppose for example, here I am saying that 1 day and here I will keep that copy for 7 days only. Okay, so that is okay. So if you want to keep weekly backup point, weekly one backup point, whatever the backup is there on Sunday, and that will be written for next 12 weeks. Or I can say that 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, like that. So I will say that 2 weeks. At least you need to keep it for 2 weeks. So whatever the backup you are taking monthly, maybe it is a week based or maybe it is the day based. So you need to check that on the day basis or on the week basis, which one is your monthly backup point. So let's say first Sunday, whatever there is a first Sunday, the backup is there. So you need to retain that backup for 1 month. I can just choose that. And then yearly backup. So if I want to add that yearly backup, so you need to point out which backup is your yearly backup. So whether it is a January 1st Sunday, that backup is my yearly backup, and you need to keep that backup for 1 year. Whatever you want, you can just add that and then click on OK, right? So this is your backup policy, right? So this is your backup policy. Now, once we have that backup policy, we need to add the virtual machine. So now, there are no virtual machine. It is saying that. Cancel that. Let me just go back and let's refresh the page. Okay, till that time, let me just go for my, what is that? Not this one. Where is my virtual machine? Okay, this is my VM. Okay, let me just finish this. And so this is done, right? So let me close this window. No, let me just check whether it is asking for new. Okay. Done. All right. So if I wanted to check that whether it is installed or not, I can go for command prompt. So first of all, let me go for the command prompt. And then let me check az -- version. See here, Azure CLI version is installed. Okay. So this is it. So what I can do, I can go for this one. Let me close this window, everything. Let me just close that. Okay. And I will cancel this RDP. Okay. So this is my RDP. Now let me again configure this backup and whatever the policy is there, let's go for this. Okay. And let me just check whether I have that virtual machine. No, it is not taking that virtual machine. Okay, this is a region basis. So let me just check that virtual machine East US region. Okay, so let's go for recovery service vault, and that recovery service vault is present in which region? Central US. Yeah. So let me just create a new recovery service vault. I will put it in RGCLI. Vault name, I will say that day 8 vault, right? And this is in the East US region. So let me just review and create it. So let's wait for a while now. So let me just write it over here, what we did. So we have created a virtual machine. Okay. In that virtual machine, there is a folder, and we have one file. Okay. So this is my file. That file is having some index or some text file. That's it. Okay. Another thing, we have installed Azure CLI. Now we are going to take a backup. Now let me go back to my vault. So let's wait for a while. Okay, this is it. Now let me just go for my resource and let's go for a backup. So let me go over here and take a backup from here. Okay. Now here I need to select the virtual machine and then click on backup. Now if I'm going with the same, then here let me just get that. See here. Now it is coming. Why? Because as I said, recovery service vault is backup is a region basis. Okay. Backup specifically is a region basis. So I can take that VM1 for my backup purpose. Right? Now, once we are done, once you select that all the configure backups and all, you can enable the backup. So let's take that backup. Okay. So this is my backup. Now, another thing, once we have the backup with us, then we need to schedule it. So if you remember, there is a schedule. So what we have taken by default, it is a 8 a.m. right? UST time zone 8 a.m. It means it will not take a backup at this moment. So if I want to take this backup at this moment, there is one option. So you need to start at that point. So let's go for it first of all, and let's see that whether we have a backup or not. See here, whenever we are coming over here, from the backup, you can only decide what is your backup, what do you want to backup, and that's it. But once you take a backup, it will be available in the backup items. Okay. So see here, my backup is done. So I need to, you can see here, backup item count is 1. It means Microsoft has installed the agent on my virtual machine to take a backup. Now I can go for my Azure virtual machine. You can see here, not configured yet. Initial backup is pending because it is waiting for that schedule trigger, right? Now what I can do, I can go for my view details, and in that view details, I can see that backup now. So you need to enable that return backup till 24th, right? As per the policies, I'm okay with that, and then start okay, right? See here, it has triggered the backup for my virtual machine. So whatever is present in my virtual machine, it will take a snapshot of it. Snapshot of it means whatever is there right now, whatever your IE enhancement changes configuration, we have made that off. Again, we have that Azure CLI, as well as we have files and folders, everything. It will take a backup of each and everything. Once it takes that backup, it will be available over here. So that is how we can take a backup. And once we have a backup, then we can create a new virtual machine, or if you want, you can replace the previous virtual machine as well. Okay. So like that, we can create a backup. Now it will take some time. So till that time, what we can do, let's go for the next part, which is site recovery. Okay. Trigger is done. Let me just go back to my backup items. This is my Azure virtual machine, and this is my view details. It is not coming still. Let me just refresh that page. Okay, it will take some time to appear it over here. Once we have that, then and then only we can go for it. Okay. So
Yeah,
now,
ma'am, one thing, ma'am, once we take the snapshot of that previous VM, so we want to delete that exact one, we can delete it, but future purpose, we can use the same snapshot for same creation.
Yeah, you can take that. You can take the backup and
Hmm.
then you can create a new virtual machine from that as well.
That all. Okay. Same recovery point will whatever the data is current day, so it will reappear on the new VM, right?
Okay, so for that you need to add the retention policies. How many days, how many number
Hmm.
of days you wanted to retain that
Yes.
backup.
Uh-huh.
So if it is there, then only you can create. So for
Create.
example, in some scenarios, you have taken the backup.
Hmm.
Once you take a backup, you might happen the virtual machine is crashed or you deleted that virtual machine,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? But
Hmm.
still the backup is there.
Hmm.
So if the backup is there and retention period is 30 days, so
Hmm.
in between that 30 days, you can create a new virtual machine.
Okay.
Okay.
And okay,
So
that's fine, ma'am. And is there any chances to each and every like day wise? Actually, normally every day we will take the backup. Is there any chances to some critical systems like we will take every 1 hour? Any scope of for this? So continuously taking backup every 1 hour.
after every 1 hour. So let's check on that. So
Hmm.
whenever we are going for the backup, so
Hmm.
suppose this is my virtual machine backup, and here we have that
Rule. Yeah.
option, right?
Yeah.
So here minimum backup you can take
Yes.
after every 4 hours,
Every 4 hours. Yes. Yes.
not hourly basis,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So this is the minimum, what I can say, that time limit.
Time limit.
Okay.
Okay.
But
Duration.
you can take that after every 4 hours. So how many you wanted to take, you can just add that.
Hmm.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how you want to retain your data, this is here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if you are deleting the virtual machine and after that whatever the copy is there, that will be available with this.
With this.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
If it has taken
Hmm.
that backup point. So
Hmm.
for example, you have initiated that retention of weekly backup.
Hmm.
Today we have Sunday,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
On Sunday only it has taken that backup. So that will be retained for 12 weeks.
Hmm.
So within that 12 weeks, though the virtual machine is gone, then also you can take a
Hmm.
create a new virtual machine from that.
Yes.
Okay.
Understood. Yeah.
Here you need to manage. All right.
Uh, Ma'am,
Yes.
what about the DR? Means if something happen immediate before 4 hours,
Mm-hmm. You will
and
lose the
like
data.
in DR we can run the another machine on the same
Mhm.
time. There was a two VMs running like that. Do we
Uh,
have a DR
no.
in it?
So yes, we already have the DR in it, but still on that DR also you need to create a policy. Okay, so that part we will going to discuss now. So
Ah,
this
okay,
is
okay.
what we have in the site recovery. Now, these are the things are there which is called as RPO and RTO. One is the RPO, which is recovery point objective. So the amount of data which can be lost while bringing the system back. So if you can see that there is a minimum hour is 4 hours. So let's say I'm taking the backup at 8 a.m. and after that my backup will be at 12 a.m. or p.m. something, right? So if my backup is at 12 p.m. after 4 hours, in between that my system crashed at 11 a.m., then I may lose my data for last 3 hours. So this is what your RPO. Now that amount of time that it take to get system back is called as RTO, right? Recovery time objective. So to get back the of data, that is called as RTO. So it will take some time, few minutes and all, and then you will get that big backup. But here the major part is this. You may lose that data for 4 hours. And if you are ready to go, this is the minimum amount. If you are okay, I can take that backup after every 8 hours or 12 hours. So as per the importance of that virtual machine, you can decide. Okay. So let me go back now and let me just check where is my backup. So let's go for this. And this is my VM. This is the one. Still it is not coming. So let me just take it again. Return backup till, that is okay for me. and this has triggered that. This option should come over there. Okay. So let's wait for that option until that time. Now let's go for another part. Let's go for the site recovery. Now, whenever we are talking about the site recovery, first of all, we need to prepare our infrastructure. So see here, you can take a backup or disaster recovery. See, backup is business continuity and site recovery is a disaster recovery. Now, backup means what? Within a region. Within region. So if I lost my virtual machine and if I have taken already my backup of my virtual machine, I can restore it within a same region only. So if it is a East US region, I can take a backup in East US region and I can restore my virtual machine in a East US region only. So this is region specific. But what if my virtual machine is present in some region which is a East US region, and because of some reason that virtual machine collapsed due to the region failure? So in that case, if I want my virtual machine back, then what I can do? How I can prepare my services to secure my virtual machine in a region failure issues? Now for that, disaster recovery comes in a place. So for the disaster recovery, you can't keep your all assets in the same region. You need to create a solution or you need to create a replication in a different location. So for example, this is my East US region. So I will create my different location in a East US 2 or any other region, right? So that is important. So first of all, you need to configure disaster recovery. Then Microsoft will create a snapshot, whatever your time is there. For example, I'm saying that after every 4 hours, you need to take a copy of it. So after 4 hours, after 4 hours, it will take a copy. Now, once it is done, it will just take a snapshot. Okay. Once taking a snapshot means what? It is just uploading that disk part. So in the secondary region, only there is a disk. It means storage. So in the secondary region, we are creating only the storage and continuously we are taking a backup on that storage. So this is kind of a cost optimization. Why we are creating the whole infrastructure in the secondary region? Not required. Now, there is an automation account. There is a automation account is running behind the scene. So automation account is a trigger. So whenever there is a failure on region of this virtual machine, it will trigger the disaster recovery and it will trigger the automation account to start creating the resources in the other region. Now, how it will do that? So this is a storage. Storage is already there. Disk is already there. Then automation account will trigger virtual machine, VNet, and all these things. VNet is also all, everything is there. Because why VNet is there? VNet don't require any costing. VNet is free of cost, right? So VNet is already there. Public IP address, there is no public IP address and all. So instead of this, see here, there is disk and the virtual network is there. So we are provisioning these two things. Once we are provisioning these two things, they are ready to create a new virtual machine. When we have that disaster, then automation account will trigger it and it will start creating the virtual machine and public IP address, everything for me, which is using the disk and the VNet. So this is how we are using our disaster recovery. Okay. Now let's go back and here we have the replicated item. Now see here, site recovery. So this is my disaster recovery. Now for that purpose, you need the vault in a different region. You need vault also in a different region. Otherwise, if there is a failure on the region, even you can't access the recovery service vault and even that recovery service vault will not work. right? So now suppose for example, this is my another location which is in the central US. So this is my site recovery and I will enable the replication for my virtual machine. So over here, what is my region? I can say that the source region is the East US region because my virtual machine is present in the East US region. I will choose my ARG and after that disaster recovery between availability zones. If you want to keep your copies in availability zone, you can do that. Now, next part, we need to go for the next one and we need to select the virtual machine. See here, this is the one. If I'm doing the same thing, suppose, for example, this is my recovery service vault, right? Let me just go for recovery service vault. So this is my recovery service vault and this is my day 8. Just now we have created in the East US region. And my virtual machine is also there in the East US region. And if I'm going for the site recovery from here and starting that enable replication, it will not able to search. See here, East US region, no. You can't you can't take your data from the East US location. You need to make the changes because recovery service vault is itself in the East US region. So we can't go for that part, right? So that's why we are here. And this recovery service vault is present in the central US. That's why we can start the replication, right? Now, once you choose your virtual machine, you can go for the replication settings. Now, what you want? So my target location. So I can just not only the central US, but I can create the target location in different locations as well. It is not like that my recovery service vault is present in the central US. That's why I can create it in the central US only. No. To trigger it, your recovery service vault has to be there in the different location. That's it, right? So suppose I wanted to create the target location for the West US region, or you can just keep it in the East US 2 region as well. So as per the latency, copy. So you can just put that over here. Choose your location. And then this will be my resource group. So this will be my new resource group only for the Azure Recovery Service Vault. Now, this is the one where we are creating our automation account, storage account, virtual networking, and all the resources, right? And we are just keeping it as it is. See here, it is creating that virtual network for me. So if you want to keep the separate name for the virtual networking, you can do that. Failover subnet. So this is my subnet as well. So whatever the virtual machine is there, that will be getting added into this. See here, storage configuration. So you need to also add the storage configuration for that virtual machine. So these are the things that you need to create. Once you are done, you can go for the next automation account and everything Microsoft will create, right? Now here 24 hours retention policy, right? Here you can go for the replication policies. You can put the naming convention, retention period in that particular days, and you can just keep that disable app consistency frequencies and all these options are there. Okay. So I don't want that. Whatever is there, I will go with this 4 hours retention period. Now, if you want to understand what is mean by this, select the retention policy defines the setting of recovery point. So this is your recovery point. So if I can go for this one, retention period, you can just put it. See here, you can start the number from 0 to 15, right? So this is your recovery point in a number of days. So every day you can take a recovery point. Recovery point means at that point it will collect the backup. So this is a daily basis. It will not go for hourly basis. So now here RPO is 24 hours. So for the next, suppose after once you are taking that backup today at 8 a.m., tomorrow before 8 a.m., maybe it is 7:30 a.m., you lost your virtual machine. So you can take that disaster point recovery for today 8 a.m. It means for the next 23 hours, you may lose that data, but it is there, right? So like that only you can do. It is not the hourly basis or 4 hours and all. So this is the disaster recovery point. Now, if you want to create a replication group, now what is mean by the replication group? All machines will replicate together and have shared crash consistent. So if you have a multiple virtual machines, then you can create the replication group. Otherwise, you can just go for allow ASR, recovery service vault only, site recovery only to manage it. If you are doing it from your end manually, then you need to manage each and everything, write a automation script and this and that. See here, automation account is also there. And this is created by ASR only, Azure Site Recovery. If I'm choosing manual one, then you need to create it, right? So like that, once we are done, we will go for next and then we'll start enable replication. See, it is initializing my replication. Now it will take some time. Now it will take the backup every day. Okay. And if there is a disaster, then and then only it will create a virtual machine, public IP address and this and that and connect with my virtual network and my disk part. Okay. So this is how it will work. Now let's go back to my day 8. Let me check why that backup item is not coming. So I have did it multiple times, right? So this is past. Last backup status is failed. Why? Ah, this is the one. See here. Now for the backup part, let's go back to the backup part because for the replication part, it will take some time. Okay. So for the backup part here, now I can see that backup and see this restore a virtual machine or restore only file recovery. So see here now that options are coming, restore virtual machine, file recovery and all. So for my virtual machine, if you want to just recover your files in your storage account, you can do that. But if you want to restore the virtual machine completely, you can click from here or you can click from here. Anywhere will be fine. So let's go for it. And now you need to start your restore point. So that is okay for me and then okay. And now what you want? Do you want to replace your existing virtual machine or do you want to create a new virtual machine? So let's suppose I wanted to create a new virtual machine from scratch or you want to restore only the disk part. So suppose I will keep that virtual machine name as VM2 and RGCLI only. And this is my virtual network. So you can select your virtual network. I will select the same virtual network, same subnet, and then staging option. So select an option of storage account. So I'm just choosing that, right? So this is my storage account. Okay. Now, once I done, I will go for restore. So I don't need to do any other things. It will just create the same kind of a virtual machine for me. So let's wait for a while. Okay. So see here, it is triggering that restore for of virtual machine 1. So I will get my virtual machine 2. Okay. With the backup. Now let me go back over here and once I'm done. So here we are working for the disaster recovery.
Ma'am,
And
one thing
here,
here.
yes,
Sorry,
yes, go ahead.
actually, when we are trying go with the file recovery, right? So my point of view is like my VM is deleted. So I want to go with the entire VM restore. That is the case, right?
Yes,
Yes. For example, VM is present. Maybe I think I lost my some files or data something. Then only I can go with VM present. Only I go with the file recovery.
file recovery. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Perfect. So let's go for the replicated items now. And it will take some time to get replicated over here. Once we have that, let's start working on it because it is creating the complete infrastructure. So now if I can go over here and let's search for the resource groups and see here that ACR. So Microsoft is creating ACR for me. See here, Azure Backup RG. See here, network. So still it is in the deployment stage. It will create the automation account, it will create a storage account, each and everything for me. Okay. Now let me go back over here and let's see whether my virtual machine is done or not. Okay. So it is saying that my trigger point is done. So let me get inside my VMs and let me refresh that page. Okay. See here, my virtual machine is ready and it is getting created. So still the status is running. I can't touch on my virtual machine too. Okay. So let's keep refreshing and see here now my virtual machine is running. So I will go for my VM2 and then what I can do, I can take that public IP address, right? And then we need to add it over here. So let's add the PC and here I will keep my this one and let's use any Azure resource credential if I can use. Let me just check whether it is taking or not. So this is a new one, right?
I think this recovery points charges was too high, right?
Yes, charges are there because Microsoft is going out of their scope, right? So they will
Yeah,
do
it's too costly.
that. Yes, but
Yeah.
sometimes we need it.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is a requirement of your organization. We can't take that. We can't take that decision. So this is all for the administrator peoples.
Is it we are from administrator line, so that's why I'm asking.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the cheapest version, or we can choose like a zone wise? As we are creating a VM, there is asking for zone replication.
Mm-hmm.
So is it the cheapest one, or that is the cheap? Which one we can prefer?
Zone replication is for the storage part only. Okay, so you can do that part as well. You can choose your replication on the zone basis. But the same thing, if you are choosing the zone basis, then it will work in the region, within a region. But if your application is too much important for you and you can't go for the region failure options, then you have to go for the disaster recovery. But this will never happen. I didn't remember that there is a region failure happened as of now. But it will happen someday, sometime it will happen, right? So if you want to provision for that particular time period, you can do that. You can go for the disaster recovery,
We are
right?
as well giving a 4 hours only, right?
Yes,
We are also losing the 3 hours of data.
4 hours of data.
Yes,
So
but some production sites, there was no lost times. So what is the best solution then?
So if what the thing is what you want. So do you want to work only with virtual machine? Then these are the options. If you want to work with the app service plans, they are taking 50 times backup in the backend, right?
Okay,
So as per your requirement, you need to choose which solution or which service is required for your that architecture. So that's why we are having the 305, where you need to understand each and every service and what are the pros and cons for that.
okay, got it.
Okay, done. Let me just add this and let me start it. Mm, okay, let me just check my virtual machine is there or not. Let me just see. It has started. Is not ready. Okay, I need to wait for some time. I need to just restart. Let's wait. Otherwise, we need to create another VM. Till that time, let me go for ASR and refresh that pages. So let me close this window and let's go for the recovery service vault. This one is my central US, yes. Replicated items. Still it is not there, so it will take more time. Okay, so that's okay. So this is done. So let me try to connect to my virtual machine. The status is not ready, it is saying that. So it might take some time, but still let me just check whether I can take. It is not getting started. So let me just do one thing. Let's create one more because the status is not ready. Let me just create it again. So here we have the recovery service point, and this is our backup. And here we have the backup items. This is my virtual machine, and this is my, let me just restore my virtual machine again. Snapshot is there, creating it. Create a virtual machine, VM3, and then select option is this, subnet is this, select option of this, and then restore. So let me just try it. Okay, so this is done, right? So here it will take some time for the replication point, as well as it will take some time to do the restoration and all these things. Okay, so we will wait for that. But now what we have done, we already done with the backup and all, right? So how to take the backup? Now here there is one more part, which is a blob backup and recovery, file backup and recovery. So if you want to do that, then what you need to do, you need to get inside that. So you can go for the file recovery backup, and here this is your backup, right? Now in that backup, what you can do inside the Azure, you can search for file share and then you can hit on backup. Now, which storage account you want to select? You can select your storage account from here. Okay, so this is my storage account. You can just take that storage account. You can add the policy and enable the backup. Okay, file share. We have selected that and then okay. Okay, file share. From here, I need to add that. We have already done that, right? So that's why it is not showing. Let me just go back. Let's go to the storage account. Let's create the file share. So here we have the file share. I will add one more file share. Backup share. Okay, where's that? Backup share, and then review and create it. Okay, so this is my backup share, file share. Okay, so I will go back now, go to the recovery service vault, and then this one is my recovery service vault backup. And then from here, I will choose file share, backup, select my storage account. This is my storage account. I need to select the file share. What was that name? Backup. Maybe it is taking some time to replicate on that. So let me just go for my storage account, my file shares. So this is how it works. Okay, so you can just create that and you can upload any file on that and then take a backup. Okay, so I will put my downloads. I will keep this file or this folder here, or okay, this one, and open it. Upload. Okay, simple. Once you add that, you can start the backup of it. Okay, let me just go back. I just want to check my virtual machine, whether it is ready or not. VM3, if I can go for VM3. Okay, it is working. And then this is my public IP address. All right, full writing stage. So let me just go for my this one, add PC, and then add my this one, and then go for add credentials, Azure user, and then here key, and then add it, and then run it. Let's see. It is not able to connect. Okay, let me just go for my virtual machine. Let me just figure out what has happened. So let's go to my virtual machine networking. Okay, NSG is not there. So let me just create one. That's why it is not taking it. So, okay, inbound port rules. And then here custom, I will go for RDP. Allow RDP. Okay, and then add it. Okay, now VM3 is there, right? So let me just go back to my portal, this one. Oh, it's change. I just make this one. Let me just close this. Let me delete that. Delete it and then add the PC. This one. Now we'll go for the add credential. Azure user. The name is Azure user. Password is this one, and then add it. Add. For macOS, this is something difficult. In Windows, you can directly take that RDP and directly you can connect. Okay, so my this virtual machine is ready to go. Now let me just quickly check whether all things are there with me or not. Okay, so what I need to check, whether that IE enhancement is still off after that Azure CLI is there or not. Then I need to check that file is there or not. Okay, so for this, let's wait. Let me check for File Explorer. Let's go for the File Explorer. And let's see. Have this PC, go to that and see here. Day 8 is there. This is my new virtual machine, right? So this is my file. Okay, so this is there. That is fine. Let's get inside the downloads. Okay, Azure CLI is also there. That is also fine. Let me get inside that local server and let me just check what is that option. So let's wait. See here, this is also off, right? So it is taking each and everything. It's a snapshot. So if I can go for this command prompt, see here, command prompt, and I can search for AZ version, AZ hyphen hyphen version, and then hit on enter. Let's wait. Yes, see here. So whatever you are doing, it will take a backup of it, right? So we are done with this backup point. Now let me just quickly go for my vault and let's see whether my vault is ready. See here, it is healthy, synchronized, and now what you can do on the three dots. Now this is what? This is the disaster recovery. This is what our disaster recovery. So you can go for the disable replication. Still it is synchronized, 0% synchronized. This is not giving me the option of test failover, cleanup test failover, and all these things. So after some time it will give me that cleanup or as well as all the options. See here. So now no matter what, okay, it will take a backup after every 24 hours, right? But still I can do the test failover. So at the initial stage it is taking so much time to do all these things. But see here, you can see that. So this is my site recovery. This is my East US region where my virtual machine is there and it is doing the cache, right? So that cache storage is connected to my service recovery, site recovery. And here we have the manage disk, right? So see here, from here to here, we are doing the replication. So you will get that options from here. So in that general, we have the compute network. You can see each and everything once it is completely prepared. Okay. So this is it for the backup and restore as well as BCDR, how that BCDR works. Okay, any questions on that? Yes, any questions? Okay, great. So now we'll go for the next part, but before we are going for that, let's have a break, right? So it's 11:22. So let's take a break for 30 minutes at least. Yes. So
Okay.
let me just put it over here. Uh, let's
Well,
take a break till 12. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let me just stop the recording, pause the recording. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So now we are going to talk about monitoring. So for all the certifications, monitoring is the part of last module. Okay. So here also we have that module for the Azure monitoring, but monitoring as in our real-time environment, monitoring start from the first. Okay. And this is really very important for all the services. While you are on the administrative level, while you are on the developer level, database level, whatever, if you are a part of any organization and you are handling any resources, monitoring will be there, right? Because if you have created the application, then after creating the application, if it is up and running, before you are putting it onto the production environment, you are checking each and everything. That is okay. Testing everything is fine. But what if once you publish that code or once your application is up and running and open for the users, customers, and the customers are facing the challenges. It might be sometimes it is not fetching the data, maybe that users are getting slow down server, or maybe the users are getting 500 error, 403 error, so like that. So if the users are getting it, then it will create an impact on our organization. Because if the customer is good, we have the more and more customer, then and then only we can grow our organization, right? So for that purpose, we need to make sure about that our customers should be happy, there is no hiccups, there is no issues and at all, right? So my application is in a good condition, up and running always. And if the customers are facing the challenge, then we have to reduce, we have to recover it, right? So that's why there are multiple monitoring tools we have in a market. So one, the best part is Azure Monitor, which is having each and everything inside that. So if you want to monitor any resource, then you can go for Azure Monitor. But in that, so let me just go for Azure Monitor from here. See here, this is my Azure Monitor. So from here, you can monitor any resources. Now, when I'm saying that any resources, it will collect metrics of that resource as well as logs. Now, metric means what? As per the resource, the metric will be different. So for example, if it is a storage account, then how many blobs are getting uploaded? How many blobs are getting deleted? How many queues messages are there? How many deleted? Tables, like that. If I'm taking virtual machine, then what is the percent CPU we have? What is the in IOPS we are already utilized? So like that, as per your resource, the metric count metric is different, right? How you can investigate the usage and performance of that Azure resource. That is what the metric. Another thing we have is a log. If you want to check that whether my virtual machine is alive or not, whether I need to check the track availability, whether I need to go for any other things. So it is kind of a event based. So there is an event, you need to collect that information and then you can write your code. So logs, it will collect the logs and it will collect the metrics. Now, once you collect the logs and the metrics, then what you can do? Let me just start the pen here. Okay. So what Azure Monitor will do? It will collect the metric as well as it will collect the logs. Once they have the metrics and logs, then what? Maybe they will just collect the information and put it somewhere. Maybe they will do the analysis. Maybe you can create the alerts, right? Either you can create an alert. Inside that alert only, you can also create action items. So for example, suppose there is a virtual machine. And for virtual machine, if my virtual machine goes down, customer will face the issue which is slow down or that web server is not working, like that. So if it is happening, then alert will create, or you need to create that alert first. That alert will trigger either a notification for you. So there are again two parts. In alerts, you can just go for the notification. You can notify, or else you can create an action. So if you want to just notify me, email ID or anyone else you wanted to notify on that, or call, you wanted to make the call of it, you wanted to send the voice message for it, you wanted to give the notification by using the notification hub. So like that things you can perform. But what if it is in midnight or something? So I'm not able to see that mails, or I'm not able to take the calls and all, right? But at the same moment, multiple customers are accessing your application. So at that moment, what we need to do, this will happen sometimes. So I need to take the action at that moment. So if my percentage CPU is going down or going high, very high, so which will affect my application, then what we need to do, we need to increase the size of that virtual machine. Now, if you remember, to do the changes, to do the vertical scaling, if I want to increase the size of my virtual machine, then how to do that? Manually. I need to get inside the virtual machine. I need to stop that, and then I need to increase the size and then start it. But what if for that purpose you need to continuously keep eye on your virtual machine, right? Percent CPU. We can't do that. 24/7, we can't check or monitor each and everything manually. So that's why action groups coming into the picture, where there is an automation account. Inside the automation account, you can write your script in the PowerShell. So to stop the virtual machine, first of all, first command will be there, stop the virtual machine. Then increase the size, you can specify the size of it. Then start the virtual machine. So whenever these things happened, it will trigger that automation account by action group, and then it will perform the action, and then your application will be up and running for your customers. So same thing, this all things are getting managed by Microsoft. So Microsoft is taking overhead on them, right? And this is kind of a release from our end. So we don't need to monitor each and everything. So that's why alert is also not a free of cost. So if you are creating alerts, you need to pay for it. Okay. So whatever Microsoft is doing for you, you need to pay for it. That's it, right? Now, after that, this is one kind of a part that we can perform by using that monitoring. Also, you can collect the information and you can go for the visualization. Visualization in the sense, if I wanted to check some resources, what kind of resources I have and in which resource and in which regions. So for that purpose, workbook will have multiple templates for the visualization. So it will give you pie chart, it will give you a graphical overview, it will give you table chart kind of things. Whatever best suits for your requirement, it will give you the output in that way. So this is what? This is view, create and share interactive reports. So visualization is there, right? After that also you can also connect to the Grafana. So this is the new one. Earlier, that option was not there, but Microsoft has recently introduced. Earlier, Grafana was there as a monitoring tool, but to connect with that, we need to do it manually. But now Microsoft has given it in this portal itself, in the Azure Monitor itself. So by using that Grafana, you can check each and everything. It is kind of a dashboard of your monitor. So you will check each and everything from there, right? After that, here we have the change analysis, from where you can investigate what changed to triage incidents. So you can use that analysis method. You can go for the diagnostic settings as well. Now, what is mean by diagnostic setting? That part we will going to discuss in some time. Okay. After that, Prometheus is also one of the metric or one of the monitoring tool to check the health and the performance. So we are not going to talk about these things right now. Health model we already have, which is kind of Azure Health. Now here you can see that these are the insights. When I'm talking about the insights, it is dedicated resource. So for example, application insight. So if I'm using my web application or my function app or my API management, then the application insights will monitor each and everything in a deep manner. Deep manner means who is accessing, what is accessing, how they are accessing, what is the flow of it. Everything you will get it inside that. Same thing for containers. So from here you can monitor your container instances, container apps, AKS and all. So this is a complete deep dive onto the container, right? Same thing for the virtual machine. Either you can create a new instance for the VM insights, which will completely check health, performance, and dependencies of your VMs, each and everything, right? Same thing for the network insights, right? So there is a network watcher. So by using that, you can also check. So what if in that network there is a firewall, there is a VPN gateways, or there is anything else that restrict you to go for the internet connectivity, to go for any other things. For example, yesterday we have created the firewall. As per a user, I don't know whether there is a firewall or not. So from my virtual machine, I'm not able to access Microsoft.com, right? That is my issue. So to understand that, what is the issue, I can go for the network watcher, which is a network insights. So like that, we have multiple things, right? So now let's go one by one. Now, if I wanted to go for it, see here, there is a activity logs. Now, inside the activity logs, you can check each and every activity. Okay. You can check each and every activity. Means if I'm creating anything, it means it's a provisioning. If your provisioning is succeeded, if you are making any changes, if you are doing updations on it, if you are deleting something, whatever, see here, you have created a link. So just now what we did, we have created the virtual machines and all. See here. So you will get each and every activity from it. Even it will also give you the information whether it is succeeded or failed. After that, it will give you the data about when this has happened, what is the timestamp, on which subscription it has happened, and who has initiated it. So see here, you can see that who has initiated it, right? So like that, let me just do like this. It is not taking. Okay, so like that, here you will get to know about that initiated, who has initiated. Suppose multiple users, multiple employees are working together in a same organization. Now I need to make sure about that everything is going smooth, but suddenly something happened and I wanted to track that who has done that. Someday my organization also had billing of 4 lakhs. So we are the one from the administrative level that we need to check who has done that. So how I can understand that who has created these services? So for that, we just took the activity logs from here and we check that who has initiated it, right? So who is responsible for it? Who has deleted it? Everything you will take it. Now you can take activity logs for last 90 days. For last 90 days means 3 months only. So apply that, apply it, take it, download it as a CSV file. So you can only take the activities from last 90 days. So after every 90 days or per month, you can just take all the things. Even you can add the filters on that. So if you have multiple subscription, you can just add the filter on the subscription. If you want only for the resource group, so you can get that resource group or the resource level as well. So for example, who has created the SQL pool, I wanted to check that, so I can go for the resource. I wanted to go for the operation, whether it is succeeded, created, deleted, right, something like that, then I can go for it. I can also check on the level of who has initiated it. So whatever is there, I can check on that. Edit column. Here we have the edit column. What you want? I want the event category. Let's say I don't want that time option, but I need that who has initiated and on which resource group. So I can just create that. So like that, you can just have a view and then you can download that and keep it with you. Okay. So this is what the activity logs. Now, this is the alert. You can create an alert on the level of metric or on the level of logs. So first of all, let's get inside the metric. Now, when we are getting inside the metric, then here you need to select one by one resource. Okay, you can't select the bunch and you can't monitor it because per resource, the metric is different. So for example, if I'm taking this VM1, I will go and apply, right? So see here, you will get that, see this is the virtual machine host. So you will get these options. So these are the metrics for me, right? So suppose for example, I am taking that metric, which is a percent CPU. So now you can see that what is the percent CPU? It reaches to more than 90%. If you remember that when I started my virtual machine, it was really very slow, right? So like that, you can collect the information for the percentage CPU utilization. See here, it went more than 90%. So that's why I faced that issue, which is slow down, right? Now, if you want, as per your choice, you can go for the area chart. You can go for the bar chart as well. You can go for scatter chart as well, or you can go for the grid view, right? Grid view is a table kind of things, right? Like this. I will go with the line chart. Now, this is something is issue, right? For me. So this is impact, or I can say that I wanted to avoid these kind of things, situations. Now, if you want to avoid these kind of situation, then what you can do, you can create the alert. So let me just do chart. Yes, here. So you can create an alert. Now, whenever we are creating an alert rule, first of all, we need to check what is the signal name. So on which metric you want to create that alert rule. So this is what this is by condition. Now static means what? You can specify here. Okay, if my virtual machine goes, percent CPU goes beyond 80%, that is my condition, right? Dynamic means high, low, and medium. So if I'm choosing that, then greater or lesser than, greater than. So like that, you can just choose medium, high, low, like that. Okay. But static, I will go for 80% CPU percentage. Now it will check every 5 minutes. What is the percent CPU? And it is look back for the last 5 minutes as well. From the last 5 minutes, what was the percentage CPU, right? If you want to add more conditions in one go itself, you can add more conditions. So as per number of your conditions, you will be having that pricing as well. See here, you can see that pricing here. So if I can add more conditions, it will increase, right? After that, once we are ready with the condition, when condition, then what? So then what, you can create an action group, right? Either you can go for the use quick action, or either you can go for the no action, no, I don't want to create any action on it, or either you can go for the action group. So one action group, you can use it for multiple alert rules. Okay. Now, if I wanted to go for the action rules, action group, then I can choose which resource group. Let's put it as a RGCLI. This is a global one. So it doesn't matter which region and which resource you are monitoring, from which region. So that is okay. Now I will put that my action, right? And same thing, I will choose it for my description, right? Now, as I said, in the action group, there are two options. One is a notification, one is action. So if you want to just notify, so I will go for this one. These options are there. If you want to notify the resource manager, administrator level, you can go for it. But if you want to monitor, if you want to send a notification to yourself, so what I can do, I can add the email ID for this. So if you have the email ID and you are responsible for the virtual machine, you can also put your email ID. After that, here we have the SMS option. So here you need to add your phone number and your code, country code, and then it will send you the message. Okay. After that, in our mobile phone, there is a notification. So if you want the mobile app notification, then you can add your account email, and then from the email you will get that notification. Or else you wanted to make that voice message. So maybe sometimes I will not check my emails, I will not check my SMS, I will not go for my mobile apps or anything. Let's have the voice message. So you can just put that voice message. So I will do one thing. I will choose dev, okay, client dot dev 88 at the rate. Okay, so this is my email ID. I don't want the SMS, I don't want the Azure mobile app, I don't want the voice messages, whatever. Now here there is a schema. Now schema means what? It will decide how that notification will be there. Okay. Now what is mean by that? So there is a format. There is a schema, or I can say that format. So you will always get that information in the same format. So which includes the resource group, virtual machine name, after that when this has happened, what happened, everything. So every time you will get the same kind of information, whether it is triggered or whether it is resolved. Okay. So we will always go with the schema based, right? Here you need to write what is that. So I can just put that email, right? I will put that this is kind of an email notification, and then okay. Now, let's say you have sent that mail notification is okay. But what if that is really very important and at the same moment we need to take the action on it? Then you can go for any one of that, right? Either you can write your PowerShell script or the runbook in your automation account, you can do that. Either you can also do that from the Azure function, or either you can just collect the information from the Event Hub Logic app. You can just use the Logic app, you can trigger something, Logic app, and then you can create it. That is also fine. So secure webhook or webhook, you wanted to trigger something, you can do that. ITSM is IT service management. So if you want to trigger the third party, let's say ServiceNow or Slack, or you wanted to trigger your Azure DevOps portal, then you can go for the ITSM and then you can add it, right? So right now I don't have anything. So I will go for the notification and then let's create it, right? And then hit on create. Now, once you create that, you can go for the details. Now, what is this? What is the severity of it? So is it really very critical or error, or it just kind of a warning, or the information or verbose? It's just kind of a data. So you can just put that severity. You can add the alert rule like my VM alert, right? And then if you want, you can just add the description here. If you want to add some custom properties like keys and values, metadata, you can add that, and then you can go for review and create. So this is resource. And if you are creating the resource, you need to pay for it. Okay. Now over here inside the alerts, you will get that alert rule. Okay. Let me just refresh that page. Where is that alert rules? See here, we have this alert rules, right? So now this is the one way from where you can create the alerts from the metrics. Now, second thing is log analytic workspace, or I will say that logs. Now, log is something different. What is different in that? Log is a resource. Now, the simple thing is whenever we are using the monitor, whenever we have the monitor and whenever you are selecting the metric, that time Microsoft itself, suppose you wanted to collect the information or the metrics from virtual machine, Microsoft will install the agent on the virtual machine and Microsoft start collecting the information in the form of metrics. So that is what the idea behind monitoring, right? But whenever we are talking about logs, To collect the logs from the virtual machine, we have log analytics workspace. So that is a resource, right? We have log analytic workspace. That is a resource. Our virtual machine is also a resource, right? Now we need the connectivity between them. See here, there is a connection. We need connection. Then and then only from the monitor itself, if you have the log analytic workspace, then you can collect the information about virtual machine. Okay. Now let's talk about how to do that. So first of all, what I can do, I can also create one simple web application, right? Just for the understanding, I'm just creating one web application. Okay. Let's create it in RGCLI. Any name for it, that is fine for me. ASP.NET and okay, for me, this is okay. Not a premium one. I will go for free tier account. Okay, here monitoring. If you want, you can use the application insights. So if you want, you can just enable that and then review and create it. Okay, that is the one. Okay, I'm just creating it because if you want application insights and all, then I will show you. Okay, now what is next? We need to go for log analytic workspace. Log analytics workspace. See here, this is my log analytics workspace and this is created by default for our application insights. So if I want, I can use this one. If I want, I can use this one as well. So this is my log analytic workspace. You can see that. Now here you can see that in the settings, I can collect the information about link storage accounts, network isolations, and this and that options are there, right? Here we have agents. Simple concept. If you want to collect the logs from the virtual machine, you need to install agents. So see here, you can go for data collection rules. Look, let me just go back. And here, see here, how you can do that. See the logs, how you can perform that. Each and everything, you will get it. See here, log analytic gateway, you need to install it. And then you need to install the agent on it, right? Now, if you wanted to collect the information or logs from your on-premises, you need to do each and everything manually. But we are using our virtual machines, so you don't need to worry about it. Microsoft will install the agent on it. Microsoft will collect the logs for you. You are just going to perform the actions. That's it, right? Now here you can see that virtual machines are deprecated. This page will removed on 15 January. Okay, till that time at least we'll go for it. Okay, now that log analytic workspace is having that option to connect. So right now this is not connected and this is what? This is my VM1. Okay, first of all you need to start connecting, right? See here, whenever it is connecting, it will install the agent on my virtual machine and it will collect the logs from it. Okay, so this is the one. Now, if I can go back, this will be connected to my log analytic workspace, but still we have the VM2 and VM3. Still, if you have not connected, it means you are not able to collect the logs from it. So, to collect the logs from the log analytic workspace, make sure about that you are having the proper connectivity from your virtual machine to the log analytic workspace. Okay. For you, Microsoft will perform that, but from here you need to initiate it. Okay. Now, once we are done, it will work, right? So if I wanted to monitor this, if I wanted to check whether Microsoft is performing or not, then I can go for my virtual machine 1 and inside that there is an extension. So see here, you can see that this is Microsoft monitoring agent. And this is from the log analytic workspace. So right now it is disabled. It will take some time. Okay. And over here, this is the site recovery. If you remember, there is a site recovery we have done on the virtual machine one. So this will also install the agent. So you don't need to worry about it. Microsoft will do it for you. Okay. Now let's go back to our monitor again. So let me just search from here monitor. Right? This is my monitor and I will go for the logs. Right? And from here, let me just close this window. Now it is saying that first of all, check your log analytic workspace. So I need to check for that log analytic workspace. Here, I don't have that log analytic workspace. Let me just check it over here. Yeah, see this? This is my log analytic workspace. So I need to select that log analytic workspace and apply. Now you can see there are no queries. So you need to start queries from here. So let me just go from here, metric to logs. And now you will see all the things because by default now it is connected to my log analytic workspace. Now what you can do by using the log analytic workspace? So you can go through resource type. If my log analytic workspace is connected to app service, application gateways, insights, app links, automation accounts, see here, all the near about all the services are here, right? It means by using that log analytic workspace, I can collect the logs from multiple resources. See here, I can collect logs from multiple resources. Now, once you collect the logs from multiple resources, then what? So suppose I'm collecting the information from the virtual machine. Then what? Then you can run this query. So now to collect the information or to query that logs, we are using Kustu query language. So that log analytic workspace is using KQL, which is Kusto query language, right? So remember that always, if anyone is asking you the question, so I have the data explorer, I have this and that, and I wanted to query the logs, then the answer is Kustu query language only. No matter what, whether you are using the log analytic workspace or the data explorer or anything, if you are querying for the logs, then there is a Kustu query language only. Now, how to write that query? You don't need to write that query. If you want to write it, you can do. It's a simple one. So for example, if I wanted to count the heartbeats, if I wanted to check last heartbeat of each computer, I want to collect the information, what data is being collected, virtual machine available memory, agent latency. So see here, these are the related to virtual machine. See, these are related to virtual machine, right? Now, if I can go down, down and down, see here, report errors and all these things. So all the templates are already there. Query templates are already there. Stop Windows services, protection status update, and that. See here, all these things are there. So now it is others. Others means it will go for the next one, right? So these are the templates we have. Now suppose for example, I wanted to check count heartbeats. If I wanted to run this one, so I can run that. Mm, no data found. Let me check the query. Yes. See here, the query states that the event, first of all, you are calling that event, which is what? Heartbeat. Okay. After that, where, summarize. So these are the things that you need to add while you are creating the query. Now, where I wanted to check within that time generated 1 hour ago. So let's say if I wanted to make the changes on it time generated 5 hours ago or 3 hours ago, something like that. So I can just use that and then summarize the count by computer, right? So it will summarize that count by using the computer naming convention. And then if you are running it, then let's see whether we are getting anything or not. You can also put the things in the ascending and descending order. See here, there is a count, heartbeat. So this is my heartbeat for my virtual machine. And if you can remember, I have 3 virtual machines, but it is showing me only first VM1. Why? Because my log analytic workspace is connected to VM1 only, not with other virtual machines. So that's why the connectivity is really very important and how you can write the queries. Now, if I can go for that, let me just okay with this and then let's go for the logs. Then you can see that there are multiple options. So if I can go for the resource type, then I can also collect the information for the app service plan, right? So there are multiple other things, load testing and all the services are here. So now what if? So see here, it means I can query, I can collect the logs from the load testing. I can collect the log from Azure Sentinel. I can collect log from Azure Spring. I can collect log from CDN profiles, data stores and event grid, event namespace and this and that, right? But what is that? Because if you can see here, if I can go into my log analytic workspace, see here, this is my log analytic workspace. I know how to connect with my virtual machine because that option is deprecated, but still it is there. Virtual machine is option is there. Here I have that option which is storage account. I can link my storage account. Okay. But where is the option for the app service plan? Where is the option for the load testing? Where is the option for the other services? Because you can see that the list is having so many resources. But from here, how to collect the logs from here, how to connect to that particular resource? No, we don't have the option here, right? So that's why every resource, for example, if I can go for my web application, if I'm going for my app service plan, this is my web application. Every resource, I'm saying that every resource is having one option within a monitoring, which is called diagnostic settings. Which is called diagnostic settings. And diagnostic settings will collect your metrics as well as logs. See here, metrics, if you want to collect all metrics. If you want to specify all logs, you can just select all logs from here. If you want to specify only particular logs, I wanted to only query for app service console logs or the IP security audit logs or the platform logs or anything, authenticator logs, then you can collect that logs and specifically you need to send it to log analytic workspace. If you want, log analytic workspace will query the logs for you for these things, then you need to send it to the log analytic workspace. Once you send it to the log analytic workspace, then you can collect the information or then you can query that from the logs. Okay, simple. Even you can store that logs in your storage account, right? Which is in the archive stage. If you just want to collect the information and after any years or something like that, once in a while you wanted to check, you can go for the storage account. If you want to collect the information and you wanted to store into the data lake or any other services, you can go for the event hubs. Or if you want to connect with the third party, you wanted to collect the logs and you wanted to send it to your partner solutions like a mirror maker or something like that, you can go from here, right? So like that, you can create a diagnostic setting and particularly you can send it to your log analytic workspace, right? So this is a simple one, log analytic workspace. So I'm not going to do any deep dive onto that. We have so many things in the log analytic workspace. We have also delivered the sessions on only on the log analytic workspace for 8 hours and so. So you can see that every service we can spend so many things. If you want to do the deep dive onto that, there are multiple scenarios that we can perform. Okay. But for you right now, that is enough for you how to connect with the resources, log analytic workspace, and how to collect the logs from here. Okay. That's it. Now let's go for the service health, or let's go for the workbook. So here we have the service health. Service health is the one which is monitoring whether my resource is affected or healthy. So you can see that blue color, it means it is a healthy in a nature, right? Affected means this is the issue from Microsoft. If sometimes what happened, one of the service is not working properly, one of the one feature is not working properly, so that is kind of a affected location or affected resource. So you will get the information from here itself. If you want to create an alert on that, health alert, so for example, my virtual machine is really very important for me. And if Microsoft is performing anything, if Microsoft is having any kind of issues with that particular resource within that location, then see here, this is my condition. So I don't want to go for every resource. I just want to check for virtual machine, right? So there is a virtual machine, right? I will select that. Region, no, I don't want to go for each and every region. I wanted to just search for the East US because my virtual machines are present in the East US. So if Microsoft is facing any service issue, plan maintenance, and health advisory or security advisory kind of things, then what is the action? So you can choose that my action from here, right? As I said, you can create multiple alerts and then you can use the same action group for it. Right? You can choose same action group for each and every alert. That is okay. So if you want to do the notification from it, you can use this my action from here and then select it. Okay. So like that, you can create a condition. Either you can do it from here or else you can do one thing. You can go for Azure status, and this is your Azure status. Even Microsoft is putting that warning or the notification on even on the portal itself. So when you start the portal, Microsoft will give you the pop-up over here if any resource or any location is affected, right? But also you can create the health alert rule for your safety purpose. Also, you can check it from here as well, right? So this is how that all the services are present. Even from here, you can check that whether you can create that resource within that region or not. So for example, Oracle database, if you want to create, then it is not available for each and every region. See here, you can't select that North Central US. So these things also you need to understand. Okay. After that, here you can see that Azure status history. So see here, power event impacting multiple services. So if I wanted to understand what has happened, so you can just understand this. Resource managers are there, right? So this is my thermal event impact has happened. See here, front door. Front door issue happened on October 2025. What has happened? Everything. What went wrong? Front door and the Azure Content Delivery Network routes traffic using global distributed edge. So this is kind of a scenario, and then how they have mitigated it. How are we making incident like this less likely or less impactful? So they have resolved that issue. Once they understood, they have resolved that issue. So like that, it will give you the history as well, how many resources affected and how many resources mitigated, issues mitigated by Microsoft. Okay, so this is what the health alert. Now let me go back to this. I will not create because every alert rule I need to pay for it. So I will not do that. After that, here we have the workbooks. Workbooks, in the sense, there are already templates are there. If you want to create a new template, you can create that template by using that add button, right? You can add the image or you can add the text, whatever you want. First of all, you need to understand how to write it, and then you can use it, or you can also browse it from the gallery as well. Now let's say I wanted to check my resources locations. I have multiple resources and I'm not able to understand which resources or the which regions we have most. So from here you can see that only 3. So here you can see that 2 Canada Central, 2 in a global, but it is not like that. I have multiple resources. So this will give you the data only for 3 resources. So here you need to choose all. Choose all, and now you can see that right now I have 22 resources in East US, 5 in Canada Central, 4 in Global, 4 in Central US, 3 in West US, 1 in Central India, 1 in West US too. So this will give you a complete overview. So whenever I'm searching for the location, the best option is this view, graphical overview, will best suited for it. If you want to do the table format, you can go for the grid view, right? See here, you will get that all the resources, which are all the resources are running within that all region. So you will get to know about it, right? So like this. So this is what the workbook. Now here we also have the Grafana. So from here, if you want to create a new dashboard, from here, you want to check on the application overview or on the key vault level, everything is here. See here, all the things are here itself. So if you want to search for the Kubernetes or anything, whatever you want, you can just take it. See here, for example, storage account. If I wanted to add that storage account, so Grafana will check each and everything. See here, transactions by API name, transactions by storage type. So this is my storage account, right? So you will get whole picture. It is kind of a complete monitoring part, right? Each and everything, transaction, how many transaction has done, all the things you will get to know, right? So this is what the Grafana monitoring, okay? So this is it for the monitoring part, but we also have the insights. So application insight is the deep dive onto the application point of view, web application point of view. So you can see here failed resource request, server response time, server requests are there, availability is there. So here it will investigate application map, which resource is connected to which resource. Suppose my web application is connected to the SQL DB or any other services. It will give you the information like that. Smart detection, whenever the users are facing any challenges, then it will collect the information about the anomaly detections. Live metrics. So from here you will get that live metrics. Someone is just now click on that. So like that, everything you will get it over here, right? After that, here we have the availability. Availability is having that classic test, URL ping test. Now suppose this web application is present in the East US region. I am sitting in India location. So I can say that, okay, from the India location, I can access the web application. But how I can say that that web application is accessible from the East US location also from the multiple locations. So if you want to do that, then there is a classic test. And in that there is a URL ping test. So you can just choose that. Here you can also check any URL. It is not like that you need to check only web application URL. If I wanted to check google.com, whether it is accessible from China location or any other location, I can just add that URL and then I will add the multiple test locations. See here, there are multiple test locations. So you can choose that and then you can create alert on that, right? And then you can create this test. Here you will get each and every details, whether it is accessible from all the regions or not, right? So like that. Now, after that, here we have the failure. So failure means what? You will get each and every information. What was the response code? Exception type, what was that? Failed dependency is what? So if there is any dependency for the failure, you will get to know about it from here. Complete for failure. And here you will get all the performance. Failures, overall, each and everything, right? Dependencies, roles. This is something new, agent, and this is in the preview. So okay, that part, this is kind of a AI agent. So as I said, co-pilots are there. So like that, I guess Microsoft has introduced some agents to help us on that. Okay, but still it is in the preview stage. So let it be. Now in that monitoring or the usage, here we have the users. It means from here you can collect the information how many users are accessing your web application. Session means how many users are present in the session, right? Event means what? Suppose I am the one user only. You will get only one user count. I am still in that session. It means on the session also you will get only one session count. But events, if I am continuously refreshing my page, then it will collect triggers, events, right? So how many page views are done? So you will get to know about it from here. Funnels. If you want to check, monitor the users, whether they are going for this, then they are going for this page, then they are going for this page. So you can just add the hierarchy of it, top step, second step, third step kind of, and then you can create a funnels. User flows. User flow is something like, suppose you have the web application. Let's say you have a web application. So this is my web application. Now, in that web application, there are multiple categories. So how the flow is going? So let's say more and 90% is going for the women's category and 10% going for the men's category. After that, it will divide. 80% goes for the fashion and 10% is going for this one, something like the accessories or something like that. Out of 10%, here 5% going for the fashion, 5% going for the accessories, like that. So like that, this is kind of a flow, user flows. So how the users are flowing from the start to end, you will get to know from the user flows. Cohort is a combination of all these things, right? So like that, here we have the application insights. Now, this is only specific to your application, web application, function apps, and API management. But what if I want to check networks? So if you can go through that, let me just search from here. Network watcher. See here, there is a network watcher. See, we already have the network watchers. We already have the network watcher, or I can say that let's get inside the network watcher RG. So you can see that many network watchers are there. Now you don't need to create it, because whenever you are creating any resource or any network resource, it might be a virtual machine, virtual network, NIC card, or anything which is having the networking part, Microsoft or Azure will create network watcher by default in that region, right? So for example, this is my East US region and this is my network watcher. So you can see that there are multiple options, right? So let me just go for resource visualization. So let me go over here and let me just search from here itself. Network watcher. Okay. So let's go from where network watcher. No, these are the only options we have. And East US region, we have this option network. Here. We have that option over here itself. Okay, see here. Here we have multiple options, right? Here we have the monitoring. Suppose I wanted to check the topology. So if I wanted to check the topology, you can easily understand that East US region and West US region, we have network related resources. Okay. If I want to expand it, I can do that, right? I will get to know about it, what kind of things are there, right? Now, let's say that I wanted to create, reset the topology or anything, or download that topology, you can do that as well. So let me just go for this one. So Microsoft has made some changes. I'm just using it from after many days. Okay, that's fine. So earlier it was showing you that what we can say, what is the virtual machine, and that virtual machine is connected to what, each and everything. It was showing each and everything from here. So let me just search for the scope. Resource group, I will not go for each and every one. I will go for only RG, and the location is not all East US location. Okay, if I'm choosing that East US location and then save it, so then this is the one, right? So setup connection monitor is there and all these things are there. So here I will get that connectivity. I will get that traffic. Okay, that's it, fine. All right, so what I can do, it is not closing. So let me just go back, okay? Now here, there is a connection monitor. Now from here, what you can do, what you can search, why it is too much? Okay, now it's looking good. So in the network connection monitor, you can create, check your connectivity. See here, this is a test group, workspace is there, create alert. If you want, see here, it enables to monitor connectivity to your Azure or hybrid network. So whatever your virtual machine is there, you just need to connect with that virtual machine. You need to add that virtual machine, and then you need to check whether the connectivity is correct or not. After that, here we have the IP flow verify. Suppose there are virtual machines and you wanted to check IP flow. So if your packets are allowed or denied by using the NSG rules. So for example, here I have my virtual machine 1 and this is my NIC card for this, and I wanted to check by using that inbound port rules. So local port is 80. I will choose that 80 number port. Remote IP address, let me just check on that. Okay, I wanted to check on 8.8.8.8 google.com, and remote port is 80 number. Okay, and let me just check. So if it is allowed on 80 number port, then and then only it will show me yes, it is allowed. Or let's check how it will show me. So this is for the NSG rules. So see here, access is denied because it is getting deny all inbound, right? So for that, if I wanted to give the permission from the NSG, I need to add my 80 number port. I need to add the rule for it, allow inbound or allow internet, like that, and then only I will get that access. So right now NSG is not having that, that's why I'm not getting that access allowed, right? I'm getting that access denied. So like that you can check on the NSG level. If you are having any kind of restrictions, you can check it from here. Okay, after that, here we have the energy diagnostics. You have added all these things. 80 number port is also enable everything, but still it is showing you that deny, deny, deny. Then you can check it from here. You can add your IP address, everything over here, NSG's information, and then you can troubleshoot. So this is what NSG diagnostics. After that, here we have the next hop. Next hop means what? Suppose this is my virtual machine and I wanted to reach out to 8.8.8.8, right? So what is the next hop? Is there any firewall in between? route table in between. So like that, if it is there, it will show me this all kind of information. If you remember, yesterday we have created firewall. That time in the next hop we choose firewall, right? So if there is a firewall, you will get to know about it. But now, right now, the next hop type is directly internet. So there is no such kind of issues. So I can easily access 8.8.8.8. Okay, so like that. Effective security rules. If you want to collect all the NSG rules together here and you wanted to create the Excel sheet from here, then you can download that. VPN troubleshoot. If you have enabled that VPN gateways and you are not able to find out what was the issue, then you can go for VPN troubleshoot. Also, we have packet capture. If you want to capture each and every packet, inbound, outbound, everything, you can go for the add virtual machine, right? So like that, we have a network watcher as well. So with this, we are done with our all monitoring parts. Okay, let me just go for this one, right? We have discussed about Azure Monitor, incidents, we have discussed about logs. Here also the same thing, monitor data sources. If you want to monitor data sources, same option, metrics or the logs. What is the log analytic workspace? What is Azure Insight? In that insight, we discuss about network insight and the application insights. Workbooks we also did, right? Data Explorer. Data Explorer, I will not create that, but same thing for the Data Explorer is your monitoring for the data part. And in that also you are using the queries, which is Kustu query language only. Okay, and this is specifically for the data part. Okay, so this part is also done. Now let's go for the next part, which is event based solutions, and then we are having the migration. So now migration, we are not doing any kind of a demonstration. So whenever we are performing the migrations, we need to understand the cloud adoption frameworks. Now, what is mean by the cloud adoption framework? So there are some steps, okay? And whenever we are performing the migration, we need to understand why migration. So if I'm asking you the question why you need the migration, so you might be having the answer like, so first of all, is it okay? Is that fine for the monitoring? Any questions regarding with the monitoring? Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So now let's talk about the migration and this.
Ma'am, I
Yes, go
do
ahead.
have, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So during real outage, which Azure monitoring signals help me to identify root cause of fast access?
Yes, yes. So if you are using the web application, then there is an application insights. Instead of monitor, you can also do the deep dive. You can enable your application insight, or for the virtual machine, you can enable the VM insights. So now whenever we are having the VM insight, that is a resource, separate resource for the monitoring. We have application insight, separate resource for the monitoring. So if we have the dedicated resources, it will do the deep dive. So the major concern is that customers know the issue before the developers, because customers are using that application 24 by 7. So if there is anything happened, they will get to know about it first. So that is what we need to monitor. So if you remember that application insights, so from there we are monitoring users perspective, whether users are facing any slow pages, whether users are facing any challenges, server is down, whether they are getting 403 or any kind of errors, and on that we need to mitigate the issues. Okay,
Okay.
all right. So is there any other question, Sahil?
No, no.
Okay, perfect then. Now, let's start with the migration part, and this is more on the theoretical part because we are not going to do any demonstration, but I will show you where is that option. Okay. Now, whenever we are talking about the cloud adoption framework, first of all, we need to understand why we need the migration. Whether the on-premises costing is more, whether the on-premise is not providing us the flexibility, and then if we are thinking about the cloud or the cost optimization, then we need to also understand that if you need flexibility, if you need to create a easy workload for yourself, if you need to reduce your part or the your involvement, then the pricing will high. So migration will always not give you the cost optimization, or FinOps, which is the financial operations, will not always give you the cost optimization or the cost deduction. They will give you the best practices. Even that 305 is completely on the best practices. What is the best for our application? If I wanted to utilize the features of the web application, which is not present in my virtual machine, that time I can't say that, okay, I wanted to do the cost optimization or I wanted to do the cost deduction. So that's why I have to work with the virtual machine. No, it will impact on your performance. It will impact on your application, ongoing application. So if you want to make customers happy, then you need to figure out which one is best suited for you. So there are some well architected frameworks in that pillars. We need to understand what is the cost optimization says. So we need the best solution. Always we are not thinking about the cost optimizations and making the things lesser costly or cheapest. So if you are going with the cheapest one, you will also get the quality as the cheapest, right? So we need to figure out each and everything, what kind of a resource we need to choose, what kind of a subscription we need to choose, what kind of things that we need to choose, each and everything. Now, whenever we are doing the migration part, the understanding first of all on the pricing. So for the pricing purpose, what you can do, always go with Azure pricing calculator, right? Earlier, Microsoft has TCO, total cost of ownership. So in that total cost of ownership, Microsoft has that each and every details. What kind of servers you have in your on-premises, what kind of Windows operating systems you have, storage you have, disk you have, each and every details. You just need to put it over there, and then Microsoft give you the total cost of ownership after migration. What is the costing? But now Microsoft has merged each and everything in the pricing calculator only. So if you want to estimate your virtual machine with the disk part and each and everything, you need to go for the virtual machine pricing calculator. And over here, you need to add each and every details. Okay. Even this is your managed disk. If you want to add the disk part, in which format, whatever, you need to add that. Storage transaction, what was your storage transaction on premises and what you will do in over here. Bandwidth, each and everything. So you need to add everything. How many virtual machines you want, how many storage accounts you want, how many other services, maybe the database or anything is there, how many things are there, and then you can create a complete costing over here. So you can put each and every details. If you want that service for hours, for months, or for years, whatever is there, you can just add that, and then you can check your costing from here itself. Okay. If you have complete infra, then you can go for the templates. You can also use the templates. See here, migration and modernization, cloud native apps on the Kubernetes, right? So you can see that architecture. If you have the architecture in your on-premises and now you wanted to create it on your Azure portal, then this is the view, right? So this is your template. So either you can go for this particular template. Either you can save your estimate, complete estimate, you can save it. And onto the product as well, when you are creating complete estimate, you can also, just a minute. Okay. So like that, there are multiple things. Now, whenever I'm going back, let me just go back, go to the pricing calculator. Now here, sometimes they will ask you for the link whenever you are creating the estimate. You are saying that, okay, as per the client requirement, this is the estimation for this particular complete year or for the next 6 months whenever we are working on that. So that will be the costing. So if client asks you that, then how you have calculated the pricing and all. So how you will create that? So here what you need to do, you need to create complete structure, and at the end here you can see that there is an export option. So this will export in the form of Excel sheet. Also you can create the link from here, which is a share option, right? Or you can save this particular estimate for your future use. So like that you can perform the actions from the Azure pricing calculator. Now once we have decided, okay, for the migration purpose, we are using this, then you can use your Azure migration, right? See here, there is a Azure migrate. Now, first of all, what you need to do, you need to create a project, right? Suppose, for example, I'm just creating a project and I will put the project name as migrate, something like that, and then geography. Which geography you wanted to choose? Where is your data? So you can say that in Asia specific only I have my complete data, or I can say that India location. In advance, you can specify that connectivity methods if you want to go with the public endpoint or you wanted to go with the private endpoint. You can use that, and then you can just simply create a project. Now, once we create a project, we need to follow some steps. First of all, we need to assess what we have and how we are going to add that things, right? Just wait for a minute. So this migration will take too much time. So that's why I'm not going to demonstrate on that part. And even I don't have my on-premises to do that. Okay. So let me just go back and let me go for my all projects. So this is my project. So see here, first of all, let me just start that, just a minute. Okay, so see here, there is a complete documentation. So if you want to just do the discovery, how you are going to host your on-premises and on-premises data centers over here, you can just go through this. Assessment means what? You need to check whether your workloads are connected, whether your workloads will get connected over here or not. What is your combination and each and everything. You need to do the planning. You need to run test migrations, whether it will do the migration properly or not. So this is what the testing means. It will check each and every details, connectivities and each and everything, whether there is a firewall in between or not, everything it will check, and then you can go for the migrations. Okay. So see here, there is option decide and plan. So these are the options we have. Now what you want, which one you want. Suppose I wanted to collect, or I wanted to migrate to the web application or to the database or to the virtual machine or the infrastructure, you can choose that. Let me just go back, and then this is my migrate. Okay, still it is not open. So okay, till that time it will take some time. So till that time, just let's go through this. Now after that, it will explore. whatever the application, suppose let's say I wanted to migrate it to my web application. Okay, on my on premises there is an application and I wanted to migrate that. So after that it will check all the applications, dependency analysis and each and everything. Then it will do the decide and plan, where it will assess each and everything, and then we are going to execute the migrations part. Okay, so like that we have this complete view. Now, if I wanted to understand each and everything, let me just go through the documentation and what is the Azure Migrate and how to do that. So this is the one, right? So what's new in Azure Migrate and all, how to do the quick start. See here, this is a create a project, and after that, once you create a project through the portal, how you can add your migrations and all these things. See here, all these things are there. So how you can create your project. Once you create the project, then these are the things. See here. So web application, data files and all. See here, first of all, we need to do the assessment. Assessment which will check each and everything. First of all, it will detect, means discover whether the application is there or not. Or if you are taking the virtual machine, then there is a VM or the on-premise is there or not. The files and folders, whatever is there, it will check each and every aspect. After that, it will build and review the business cases, and after that it will give you the analysis dependency if you need to do something in your Azure portal. And once it is done, then it will go for the migrations. So you can start replicating the data. So it doesn't mean that you are just discarding it from the on premises and putting it over here. It is just copy and paste. Once you are completely copy or paste, or once you are done the replication, then and then only you can take the decision whether you wanted to keep the resources in your on premises or not, right? So like that, see here, all the options are present over here. So I will give you this link. I will not put too much time on that. So let me just go over here.
Uh,
More on to theoretical part. Yes, yes, go ahead.
Actually, one thing like when we consider like a lift and shift, for example, we are actually migration. We are using that word
Mhm.
frequently nowadays. But when we consider it technology wise, lift and shift is better, or when we starting with on premises to migration is a cloud. So which one is better based on our requirement, or how we can consider that?
Okay, so you are saying that lift and shift. Okay, so let me just check on that because I have not done that lift and shift as of now. Okay, so I need to check on that. But for the migration purpose and all, there are multiple other ways.
Mm.
So let me just give me 1 minute.
Because of wherever I'm reading, na, so maximum companies because of now everything under now what on premises everything they're using up to date technologies, right? So now we are standing with like on premises to cloud. So if each and based on the requirement, we need to start with new technologies, right? So
Mm-hmm.
maximum wherever I'm reading, the maximum companies as a rule, they all are using lift and shift. So how
Mm-hmm.
we progress that I need some information on that.
Okay, so lift and shift is related to rehosting. So if my web application is there, instead of the migrating the things, what I can do, I can create the web application over here. Whatever the code is there, I will copy that code and I will run it over here. So that is what the lift and shift. It means it's a rehosting.
Mm.
So it is also
Previously,
the
previously it is on on premises. Now I'm hosting on cloud. That's the reference.
yes, yes, that is what we are doing. So that is what the lift and shift. It is also a process of migrating. So you are just collecting the exact copy of your application and you are deploying it on the Azure portal. So for example,
Mm.
I have on premises, I have my data, each and everything. Now to do that, what I will do, I will not use my Azure Migrate. I will do create a virtual machine with the same prerequisites. And then I will copy my data from my on premises to my virtual machine. So that is what the lift and shift. Instead of the migration, you can go for the lift and shift.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So thank you
So,
for this question. Yes, yes. Go ahead.
yeah, so during migration, how do we ensure BCDR remains intact after cut over to Azure?
Sorry, pardon. Can you repeat your question?
So during migration, how do we ensure BCDR, backup and disaster recovery, remains intact after cut over to Azure?
Okay. See, whenever we are doing the migration, it is just kind of migrating the resources from the on-premises to the cloud. Now, once you are on to the cloud, then you need to create the BCDR things, which is your site recoveries. So you need to provision it first, and then only Microsoft will take care of each and everything for it. Okay.
Okay. So how we periodically test and validate backup is in Azure to ensure they are actually recoverable during the real outage.
It will do that. So because here, if you can see, we have already created the recovery service vault, right? So suppose I am
Mm-hmm.
getting inside my recovery service vault. This is in another region. Okay. So here there is a replicated item. So if you can see that replicated item, here we have the test failover. See here, now it is enabled. So in actual failover, how it will act, you can see that in the test failover.
No, there is any something like it will check periodically test or something.
No,
There was
no.
something like
Periodically check is not there. You can do that test failover from here like this.
manually.
Manually only. Once you
Okay,
test it,
because
then
in sometime we are not checking this regularly, right?
mhm.
Sometime real scenario happen during something outage and backup was failed. We didn't see that,
No, no, no.
and
We didn't
failover
do
also not
that.
work.
That failover. Once you create the failover, once you create the site recovery and all these things, this is part of Microsoft. So if you already provision it, Microsoft for sure it will give you the data back.
Okay.
So it is kind of a part of SLAs. So why we are having the SLAs in place 99.99, 99.9999. So that's why Microsoft is guaranteed that your data is safe and you can retrieve that data. If it is failed from Microsoft, Microsoft needs to pay complete money on that. Microsoft is taking the responsibility on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So this is part. I haven't heard about that. That this once you have provisioned it, Microsoft has not did that. It has not happened until now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so you don't need to worry about it because cloud it's something that they also need to work highly on the security part and the data recovery part, BCDR. If it is failing, then no one is using it, right? So it is not for us, it is for them. They need to keep their pointer high on the market. So they have to work on it.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So this part is done regarding with the migration. Now the other services that we have in a place. So I will give you just kind of an overview. Okay, so for that, there are four services in total. So let me just talk about that four services. One is a event grid. One is event grid. Another one is event hub. Then next one we have is storage queue. And the last one we have is service bus. Right? Now, how these services will work? So let's understand that and in which scenario they are using. Now, Event Grid and Event Hub are event-based services. Storage queue and service bus are message-based services. Now, what is the difference between event-based and the message-based? So event-based, you need a trigger. So once you get a trigger, it will give you the information what happened, when happened, right? So this is what the event, which will give you the information. It is kind of a notification. Hey, this happened. That's it. Message based, which will carry the body of that message. So if you want to write something on that, then that particular message, it will carry with that trigger. Okay, so that is the major difference between both of them. Now, event grid is also a trigger based solution. So you can say that, okay, then we have the function app, which is a trigger based solution. We have a logic app, which is a trigger based solution. Correct, it is there. But logic app is having its own features where you can connect with the logic app with the multiple connectors. 300 plus connectors are there, social media accounts and all. So then you can go for the logic app. If you want to write your logic in the form of scripts, you wanted to manipulate the data or whatever you want, you can go for the function app. But if you just want to trigger, that's it, done. Then you can go for the simple mechanism, which is an event grid technique, which is a trigger based. And it's a simple one. It is having its own schema. So you can use that schema, or else if you want to create your own schema, you can do that as well. So simple trigger, if you want to create, you can go for the event grid, right? Event hub, we have discussed it earlier as well. Event hub is the one which is a big data streaming platform. If in a 1 second, I wanted to collect huge amount of information together and I wanted to store somewhere, that's it, done. It is kind of a collect information and store it somewhere. That's it. If you want to do that, then you can go for the event hubs. Now, for example, online shopping websites. So for the online shopping websites, once you purchase the order, you are getting that notification, message notification. So here there are two services are working behind the scene. Event grid will trigger that service, right? So whatever the second service is there, it will get triggered by event grid. Another thing, whenever your packet reaches to that particular location, then you will get a trigger message. Your package reaches to this particular location. It is going for the dispatch, right? So that trigger messages, for that you can go for the event grid. Okay. After that, where we can use that event hub? After 1 year or after 6 months, I wanted to do the analysis. So how many products has been sold out? How many products has been added onto the which category? Each and everything. I wanted to collect the logs of it and I wanted to keep it aside. And after 6 months or after 1 year, I wanted to collect that information and then I will do the analysis on it. Then to collect that kind of information, here we have the event hubs. Okay. After that, here we have the storage queue. So if you want to just connect the dots, for example, where we have, let's say, log files or something like that, right? So for example, we have the multiple functions. First function will do like this, second function will do like this, third function will do like this, like that, step by step. And one function wants to connect with other function. So there is no direct connectivity in our function app. If you remember, we discuss about the durable function. That time storage account queue will work. Even if I want to collect kind of notifications or something like that. So to collect the logs, to store the information or anything, you can go for the storage account queue. But let's say there is a service bus. For example, there is one online shopping application. So here we have the online shopping application. Once you purchase any product, it has to be sent the information to yourself, right? The message is sent to you. The same message sent to the warehouse. where they need to start the dispatch, the same message has to be sent to the application, right? Database to deduct the count by one, quantity by one, right? So these are the things are there. Now, here in between that, this mediator is required to make sure about that every receiver reach that message. So this is my sender and this is my receiver, right? So this is my receiver. So we have multiple receivers. In a one go itself, we need to send it to each and every receiver. So for that purpose, you need the topic. Topic means one to many. Topic means one to many communication. So you are also doing the broadcast message, sending one message to multiple recipients. So this is what one to many, and this is called as a topic. So in that scenario, this is an enterprise level applications. So multiple enterprise level applications will not go by storage queue because storage queue is not having the capability of this. Only service bus is having the capability of this, right? So that's why in that scenario, we are using, so let me just delete that. We are using the service bus. Okay. So this is the one. So how we can create that? Now let's start with the event grid first. How to create the event grid. So now if I can go for my event grid. In the simple manner, I will give you that there are multiple options. We have the custom events, we have the partner events, we have so many things. Now to create the event grid. So this is what, this is a publisher subscriber model. So everyone is working on the same models. One is the publisher and another one is the subscriber. Now, what is mean by that? Subscriber is not always who is paying for it. No, it is not always a billing unit. Subscription means what? Once you purchase the subscription, it means you are a valid user. It means you are an authenticated user, right? So that's why the connectivity is nothing but a subscription, right? So one is a publisher and one is the subscriber. Now in event grid, it is also called as one is producer and one is handler. So if you want to take the action, what has happened, then who has created that source? That event is initiated from where? That is a source or that is a producer. And who is handling that by using the subscription? It might be anything. It might be a web application, function app or something like that. So that is what the handler, right? And this is again called as a pub sub model. Everyone is following the same thing, pub sub model. Okay. Now to create that subscription, event grid subscription, you can create it on the level of subscription. So see here, just a minute. So this is my subscription. Here you can see that event option, right? So this is my event option. So either you can create event subscription. To create that event subscription, we need event grid topic. Okay, what is the procedure for it? First of all, you need to create an event grid. Then you can add subscription into that. And then you can add handler. But now here we are getting that option that here we can create an event subscription directly. So it is not like that. So if you are selecting the event subscription from here, it will first of all give you that option. See here, topic details. So from here, you need to select your what will be your topic name. So from here, you can just put that event grid topic. Right? You can just put the naming convention. So first of all, it will create the topic. Then you can just filter out what are the events, and then this is your handler. So handler can be anything, your function app, your another event grid namespace, your event hub, hybrid connection, if you want to trigger someone else, handle, partner destination, service bus topic, storage queue, webhooks. So like that, we have a multiple other options, right? Now just understand it. I'm not going to create anything over here. Just understand it. First of all, we are going to create something like test grid. Now here, as per your solution or as per your source, this value will change. Filter event type. So what do you want? When you want trigger. So do you want to trigger on the write success, on delete success, or on the action cancel or anything? So you can choose that things. So suppose I wanted to trigger this event whenever someone is creating anything, right? So this is an event write success, right? And from here you need to choose your endpoints. Okay. Now, once you choose that endpoint, there is a filter. So what do you want? So in that, what we have selected, whenever there is a create or whenever there is a write successful, means someone is trying to create something, but what they are, they want to create something. So for example, if someone is specifically want to create on the virtual machine level, so I can specify if the subject begins with Microsoft.vm. So Microsoft.vm is my provider. So let me just put it like this. Microsoft.vm. So this is the resource provider. So I can add that. And if you want to add something like end with, then you can add that as well. So it means if the write happens on Microsoft.virtual machine, then it will trigger. Okay. Another thing, here we have other filter options as well. Now, here the thing is, in the basic plan, there is an event grid schema, right? Here we have the custom input schema, cloud event schema as well. But event grid schema means what? Whenever you are collecting the information, what happened? It will collect what is the ID, what is the type of resource, what is the metadata, what is the time, event date. So like that. So these are the only categories. These are the only things that we are going to collect. So now what are the options we have? See here. It will collect the ID. It will collect the topic, subject, event type, event time, data version, metadata version. So like that. So out of that, okay, it will only collect the information first. In the first filter, what you said, it will collect the information only write success if someone wants to create. Now you are putting another filter if someone wants to create Microsoft.vm, right? If someone wants to create Microsoft.vm, okay. Third filter, you are putting it on that if that subject is equals to operator. You can just put that. If you can say that ID or topic operates equals to or string or it number is in or whatever is there, right? Boolean equals to what? So if subject equals to true, then, so these are the filters. You are putting the filters on that. Now, whenever this happened, then and then only it will trigger event grid. Now, once it is triggering, then here we have the other features as well. One is enable dead lettering. Enable dead lettering means what? Publisher has already published that event, fine. Event grid got the trigger, fine. But the subscriber, maybe that is a function app, is not working. Function app is not working. Maybe there is a outage, maybe there is a region failure, data center failure, whatever. But function app is not there or not present over there to catch that event. Then what? Then you can capture that events and you can put it into the dead lettering. That is called as a dead lettering, right? It is kind of a recycle bin. So you can collect that events on in your container, storage account container. So you can do that. Also, you can configure the retry policy. So you can choose if for the first part it is failing, then again you can retry, and how much time you will retain it. Retain means time to leave. How much time you will retain that particular event, maybe for 2 hours. After 2 hours, you can discard it. So like that, or you can capture it inside your container, storage account container. Now enable the expiration time. So this is on the subscription. So suppose function app is my handler. So I need the subscription for my function app, event grid to function app, right? So if I wanted to collect the information only for the next 5 days, I will put that expiration time as well. So like that, you can add that. Again, on the delivery partner, if you want to add any kind of a metadata on it, you can just add that. So this is how you can create the event grid on the level of what we can say, on the level of subscription. So if I wanted to perform the same action on the level of resource group, so you can go for any resource group and there is an event option, right? So if I'm creating the event subscription from here, see here, these are the options we have, right? Same thing like a subscription, because here again, this is a logical grouping. But instead of that, if I'm getting inside my, let's say, storage account, let's say storage account, right? If I'm getting inside my storage account, this is my storage account, then here also I'm getting the event, right? And inside that event, if I'm creating it, then see here, the values are changed. Now on this event, on this resource level, what are the event types will be there? Blob created, blob deleted, direct created, direct deleted, and so on. So if you want to trigger on that, you can collect that information. So for that, first of all, it will create a source topic. Okay, system topic, event grid topic. Then it will create subscription for that endpoint. So whatever endpoint you are selecting from here, it will create the endpoint and then you can create it. Okay, as per your filters, additional features and the delivery properties. So it will trigger that. Okay, so that is how we have event grid. Now next part we have is event hub. Right? So for the event hub, first of all, you need to create a namespace. And inside that namespace, you can create a multiple event hubs. So for example, I will say that my hub, right? Like that name, number, something like that. Okay. And then I will choose the region. So I will say that Central US, and this is your pricing calculator, pricing tier. So you can see that if I wanted to browse, see, these are my pricings. I can go for the basic one. I can go for the standard, premium or dedicated one. Now out of that, what you need to understand this retention period. So Event Hub is only on a capture mode. It is not for the storage part. So it will just collect the information from the sensors and it will send it to the subscriber. That's it, done. So here the subscriber is called as a consumer group. Okay, because how it works. So for the event hubs, so you are collecting the information in the from the multiple locations, right? You are collecting information from multiple locations. I took the example of Ola and Uber, right? And you are collecting events. Who has asked for the ride? How many of them are getting served by the ride and this and that. So these are what events, right? And these are on a timely manner. So which one is first, which one is second, which one is third, like that. It will go like this only in the same manner. First, second, third, like that. So here we have the multiple location. Let's say we have location of Pune, then Bangalore, then Delhi, or I can say that NCR, right? So we have multiple options, right? We can put it partition. So this is kind of a partition because we need to collect the information properly. Now that information will be collected together from the different location, group them, and then put it in the, maybe it is a data lake, right? Which is unlimited storage. So your data will be going into the groups. So that's why this is called as consumer group. So this is what? This is a consumer. Data lake is my consumer, which is collecting the information in the form of group from multiple partitions. Now to collect that information, Event Hub is not for the storage purpose. For the storage purpose, we have a data lake. Event Hub is only for capture. That's it. High data or big data streaming platform. That's it, done. But still, it is saying that data lake, suppose for example, data lake is my destination, but for some reasons, my data lake is not available. Again, the same thing. Maybe there is a, just a minute. Maybe there is an outage, or maybe there is my data lake is not present due to the data center failure or anything, any reasons behind that. So if it is not present over there, then what? Then Event Hub will collect the information and throw it. That's it. So that is what the Event Hub, capture and throw. That's it. So destination is capturing that information or not, that is not our issue. So that is what the Event Hub works. But now the thing is, it might happen, genuine reason, data lake is not available to collect the information. Then on that basis, still, it is only capture mode. Still also you are asking me to store for some time, store that events for some time. Then you need to pay for it. So basically, if the destination or the consumer group is not available, then one day I will just keep that all events with me. After one day, I will just do discard, delete. You will never get that events back, right? If you want to increase that number of days, 7 days, then your pricing is high. So you can see here the pricing pattern over here. So see this one, where is that pricing and all? Here, somewhere here. See, for one day, 0.015. If you are going for 7 days, the value will double. If you are going for 90 days per hour, the value will be this huge amount. And storage retention, this is the storage retention space, because Event Hub is not having its own storage. So you need to pay for storage part as well, right? So this is how that Event Hub works, right? Now, once we will go for the basic one. I will not go for the standard one or the premium one. I'm okay with one day. And here there is a throughput unit. Throughput unit will define the speed. How much speed you want. It means 40 throughput unit means you are having 40 Mbps speed. 40 Mbps speed, right? In advance, you can just go for it, networking and all, and then you can just simply hit on review and create. There is nothing else. So if you want to work with the event hubs, you have to work from the codes, or you can just use your stream analytics, because how the event hub works and all, you will not able to see that from here. You will only say that from the monitoring part, okay, events has came and events has gone to the consumer group. That's it, done. But you will not get to know about that from the portal. At least from the portal, you will not able to see that how that flow works. Okay. So this is what the event hub. Now let's go for the next part, which is storage account, storage queue, and service bus.
This one, can we do it, ma'am, tomorrow?
This is the only 2 resources we have for today, and then we are done. So can we continue with that? It will take only 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Because tomorrow, then we don't need to go for it now. Otherwise, we need to spend tomorrow's time as well.
Today it's already overloaded and bouncing.
Okay, so if I wanted to just take these things 15 minutes, I need to again schedule a class tomorrow.
For
So,
these as well, maybe tomorrow need to revise.
so what about others, Umesh and Bharat?
We'll connect tomorrow, man.
Okay, we'll connect tomorrow. All right, all right. So what will be the timing for tomorrow? 10?
Yeah, 10 fine. Yeah.
10. Okay. So till that time we'll do our all the stuffs and we'll come back at 10. Okay. All right then. That's it for the date then. Then tomorrow we'll discuss about other things as well. Okay. So how you can prepare for the examination and all. All right.
Yes, how to um, handle the clients as well.
Yes. Yes. All right. We'll
Okay.
we'll discuss all these things. Okay. And we'll take only
Okay.
1 hour for that. All right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right
you.
then.
Bye bye.
Bye.